Welcome back to episode 270 of the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast.
Phil sat down behind the mic, feeling bold, feeling right. Said, O-Pee ain't breaking it, no chance in sight. But the great eight kept on firing, lighting lamps every night. And now he's 12 away, man, that take ain't aged right. 30 goals and 43 at age 39. Even broke his leg, came back, scored like it's fine. Phil, it's time to face the truth, don't make me explain. O-Pee's got this locked up, quit fighting the trade. Worst take ever, Phil, you're going down. O-Pee's breaking Gretzky's record, wearing the crown. You said no way, but it's clear as day. When goal 893 drops, we'll laugh all the way. Sure, he scores those empty netters, but last I checked, they still go on the board, stats don't take a reject. You can try to spin it, but the hobby knows those predictions are relic, better let it go. 30 goals and 43, still a goal machine. Even on one leg, he's a scoring fiend. Phil, your tape's been roasted, charred and burned. When the record's his, man, will you ever learn? Worst take ever, Phil, you're going down. O-Pee's breaking Gretzky's record, wearing the crown. You said no way, but it's clear as day. When goal 893 drops, we'll laugh all the way. They'll put your take in the Hall of Shame. Every card collector knows your name. The hobby's laughing, Twitter's on fire. Phil just admitted you're in the quagmire. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So when O-Pee lifts his stick, crowd cheers real loud. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You'll be sitting there looking disavowed. Worst take ever, history's made. Phil, you were wrong, just take the L today.
Hi, guys. Hi, Phil.
Hey, Josh.
Hey.
Now, here's the thing about that song. I can't even write songs fast enough where I made that 2 days ago, and O-Pee scores again. Now it needs 11, not 12 goals. So did you like it? I made it just for you.
I thought it was good. I liked it. It was funny.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess I'm dying on the hill, eh?
I guess
Still hasn't done it. Still hasn't done it. Might
Sure.
break the other leg. You never know.
Never know.
Sure. Well, let's hope not. But
Well,
yeah,
I don't
anything
want
can
it.
happen. That's right.
Yeah.
Hi, Louis.
Hey,
How are you?
been better.
Yeah. How's your butt?
Great. Still on me.
Contacts,
Okay.
please.
Yeah, contacts, please. You've had the tummy aches for
A week.
a week. Ugh. Yeah. So if Louis disappears, we need to hit the pause or something like that. And,
You sitting on a donut?
Don't worry about it.
All right.
Oh, a lot to get into today. So Wednesday, big show, boys. Live. We're going live on Series 2 release day. We're going to have Matt by Mitchkoff, Young Guns, Macklin Celebrini, Young Guns. And we're going to be joined by Upper Deck's Billy Cilio, the guy that made the set. So it'll be a lot of fun. And I'm sure, hey, if you're there and in the chat, good listener, this is your chance to ask Upper Deck all your questions.
Yeah.
You just got to be nice about it, please.
Yeah. Please be nice.
Otherwise,
Billy
Louis
does
can't
everything.
go.
Though. Cleans the building, and he's
Oh,
right
yeah.
to the top.
He's responsible for the whole company. So
Especially the things you're upset at.
yes, only the things you're upset at. No, and along those lines, Upper Deck has very graciously donated a Series 2 hobby box for us to give away during the live show to someone in the chat. So there's a little more incentive to maybe check it out. It's on the Gongshow YouTube channel this Wednesday, starting at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Very excited and looking forward to that. Phil, a couple days ago, we had a Friday Nights with Phil.
Yes.
What happened? Recap. Let
We
the
had a
people know.
We had a big Ottawa Senators fan. I didn't realize how big the Ottawa Senators fan was. Living right in the middle of Canada. So, oh no, not in the middle. Kind of more of the West Coast, Calgary, I think he was, or Edmonton.
Did he have cards that you really? Any cards you envied?
I really liked his collection. I had most of the cards he had. I think there was one I wouldn't have minded. I forget what it was. But Michael, he just kept pulling out cards after cards. It was great to see. Great guy. Johnny came on from Mint Inc. And two very different personality styles at once. And it was a joy to navigate. And yeah, we had a great time. We were almost 2 hours just shooting the poop. And Hasselhoff, my producer, I love him to death. And he always does a good time. And then next week, we're giving away a box of Series 2, brought to you by Out of the Box Cards, my LCS. And I'll be opening a box as well next Friday. And I have one confirmed guest. I might just do one guest. One guest and a friend. Yeah. I'm not sure. 2 guests is a little hard for me to do. I don't know if I'm a good host.
You're a good host.
I am. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, buddy.
Louis, when Phil said shooting the poop, was that too soon?
Oh, I'm sorry. Josh, don't. That's so mean.
Too soon. Oh, he's way behind.
Oh, no. That's so bad. All right. Let's wrap this up here. We're a tied commercial now.
Enough with that talk. Quick hockeychecklist.com update on the development side. The round of boring kind of search engine optimization work is done. So thankful for that. In the meantime, though, we've been adding more checklists. A big one for me, 23-24 Skybox EX2000 is up on the site. So be sure to check that out at hockeychecklist.com. Also added, I think this is a big set. You may have heard of it, 1979-80 O-Pee-Chee. There's a certain card in there that some people like.
Did you do the top?
I love that Gordie Howe in there.
Not yet. Not tops.
No.
Oh, you love the Gordie Howe in it. Yeah.
The one where it looks like he's gonna fall over.
Oh yeah, he's like 92 years old or something like that. Also, 2016-17 O-Pee-Chee Platinum. Of course, Series 2 is up on the checklist site. So on Wednesday, as you're opening your box and you want to see how many other players or what set or insert set or whatever your cards come from, you can check it out there. And then if you have any suggestions, or we also open up a Discord channel if you're a member there to suggest new sets for that. So the only other thing is with adding 2016-17 O-Pee-Chee, there's only 2 more O-Pee-Chee Platinum sets. Then we'll have them all covered. So 17-18 and 18-19. Then we'll have every single O-Pee-Chee Platinum set since 2014 to 2023.
Sweet.
Okay, big week at GP Sports and their breaks on YouTube. Obviously, again, with Series 2 releasing on Wednesday. So get your spots at gpsportscards.com. I reached out to Grant, and he kind of gave me a little preview of what's coming up and some really cool stuff. There's a team select breaks, random team breaks, hit select breaks, so a lot of different options. They're also doing some bounties to celebrate the release of Series 2. So if you hit any high gloss Young Guns, you get a $500 bounty. Hit any exclusives Young Guns, get a $100 bounty. For people in the chat that are watching, they're doing a Guess the Numbered Young Guns giveaway. So anyone watching will have a chance to win some group break credits through GP. And they're doing breaks that I've seen that have 12 boxes, 24 boxes. So again, lots of cool stuff going on. Check it out at gpsportscards.com.
They also do Guess the Player. That turns out to be quite chaos and fun. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Have you ever done
that? No, I've never. I always pick Brad Marsh, and it's never been selected.
Yeah. How long ago did he retire?
93, 94, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
wishful thinking. I'm manifesting.
Wishful thinking. Yeah.
Tell you what I really like about his stuff is his repacks are banging. There's so much good stuff in there.
It's crazy. Nice. Well, it's because Grant, he's a collect. He knows what the people want, you know? Yeah.
And then lastly, before we get going, just a reminder that our show, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast, is a Patreon podcast. You can support us for as little as $5 US a month by Patreon. Helps us with covering our show expenses, producing more and what we hope to be better hockey card content, and then fun initiatives in a small way to grow the hockey hobby, like our checklist site, which costs money every day, we're finding out. So that's been fun. It's very easy to support us if you're willing to do that. You can go to our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, click on the Become a Patron link at the top of the page, or go to the Patreon website directly, patreon.com, search for Hockey Cards Gongshow. There's a link in the show description and then both the YouTube and on the podcast apps, and then our Instagram and TikTok profiles as well. You also get, when you support us, you get access to our Discord server, and we're Evan, Mad Dog Nav 78, who just retired from the Air Force after 23 years of service, which is amazing.
Amazing.
And thank you, Evan, for your service. and good luck in your next endeavors. He kind of helps manage our Discord community there, and he's launching a fun kind of contest in a week or so. We might have him on the show to describe it, but yeah, just keep it. Again, the community continues to grow, and a lot of great conversation there as well. Baba Louie.
Yeah.
Since our last show, we had 2 new patrons. Very
We
blessed
do.
and thankful for that. You want to give them a shout out quick?
Give him a shout out. First new one. Oil Drop 64. Must be a Vancouver fan?
No. That's easily a Sharks fan.
Oh, yes. I got the Shark
Oil.
Canuck thing.
Phil used to make it.
What?
Anywho. Number 2. Stefano. Huh?
Stephen O.
Stephen O.
Stefano.
I'm going to go with Stephen O. The way he wrote it. It looks like Stefano here because it's all in caps, but we'll go with Stephen O. Thank you, guys.
Well, he didn't join the Discord yet, so message us if you didn't get the link, or there's a problem with the link, because I don't have his Discord, cool name.
Got it.
Internet name. But, okay.
All right.
Ready with the game plan?
I am. We're going to go on with this game plan. Can't wait for this one. It's going to be good. So we start off with Get to Know Your Hall of Famers. And then after that, it's Who's Hot and the Struggle Bus. It's back. Then it's some hobby news. Following that, it's Winnipeg Jets Hobby Mt. Rushmore. Then we'll get into our interview with What to Do with All That Base with Mark Hill. We'll talk some new product releases. Then it's our Gongshow Mailbag and personal pickups.
Thank you, Baba Louie. Okay. We're continuing our Get to Know Your Hall of Famer series in the large Hall of Fame class of 1958. It's where we look at the lifetimes, hockey career, and hobby market for every single Hockey Hall of Fame player, starting with their very first Hall of Fame class in 1945 and are working our way to present day. Today's Hall of Fame player we're going to profile is Frank Foyston, one of the 3 Franks in the 1958 Hall of Fame class. Either of you know Frank Foyston?
I'm struggling with this whole class. I don't think I knew one. How many are we into? 4?
Yeah, this is the 4th or 5th.
Yeah, I don't think I've known any of them either.
Man.
This guy's really interesting from a hockey standpoint. So excited in a minute or two to have a conversation about him. So Frank Corbett Flash Foyston lived from 1891 until 1966. He was born in Minesing, Ontario, passed away in Seattle, Washington. Flash was a pretty small guy, 5'9", weighed about 160 pounds. It's like Jack Hughes, Louis.
Bigger than Phil.
No, I am 5'9".
I thought you were 5'8".
No, I'm 5'9". 5'10" on the internet.
Now, in a hockey career that spanned 18 years, Frank played for such teams as the Detroit Olympics, which is Louis' 93rd favorite team, of course. The Detroit Cougars, and we all know Phil loves Cougars.
Love them. Bless their hearts.
The Victoria Cougars, Seattle Metropolitans, and Toronto Blue Shirts.
That's what I call them, the blue team.
Yeah. Foyston was mainly a center during his hockey career, but also played some wing and rover. So rover was that, extra position that they had back in the day. Like most players of his era, World War I interrupted his career. In 1918, he was conscripted into the Canadian Expeditionary Force, but after a month was transferred to the Royal Flying Corps. He would never actually make it overseas as the World War would end in November 1918 before his training completed. Foyston was a 3-time Stanley Cup champion in 1914 with the Toronto Blue Shirts, 1917 with the Seattle Metropolitans. One of the coolest where you have like the big S in Seattle spelled inside it. I love these old team pictures. Like, look at the goalie's cap there. I think you would rock a cap like that.
Look at the suit of the coach or the guy on the far left.
Oh, yeah.
So dapper.
Very dapper.
He's got that pomade in his hair for sure.
Oh, yeah. And then the 1925 Victoria Cougars. Now, near the end of his career, Foyston coached in the Canadian Professional Hockey League and other various teams for a number of years. Now, this is where it gets, I think, more interesting. So why should we care about Frank Foyston? Well, first of all, I care a lot about this picture of our boy Frank. I don't like scary movies, and this picture scares the crap out of me. What is happening in this? Not a good.
Yeah, he was like mid smile or like pinch your lips a little bit.
Or his lips are really chapped, or he's got
Right.
clown makeup on. I don't know
An
what's going
outdoor
on.
game that day.
We're calling this demonically possessed Frank with the blue shirts because I was wearing the T. Is this what playing for Toronto does to a person, Phil?
Yes. Yes, you
Now we
ooze
know.
it. You ooze out failure and lack of success. But shots fired.
Okay.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Frank Foyston was one of the most dominant two-way players of early professional hockey, excelling in the National Hockey Association, National Hockey League, and Pacific Coast Hockey Association. He earned the nickname Flash because of his exceptional speed and skating ability. In an era when hockey was more physical and methodical, Foyston stood out for his smooth, effortless stride and quick acceleration, allowing him to create scoring opportunities and elude defenders with ease. Now, I already mentioned that Foyston won 3 Stanley Cups, but we need to go in a little more detail to really appreciate his contributions to those. And then there's actually a 4th Cup Finals that might be even more interesting.
I like how they
Ne-
did that in your in your wording there. Instead of saying hockey IQ, they said
Oh, yeah.
he would create scoring opportunities and elude defenders with ease.
Yeah. I didn't want to throw up, so that was nice not to have to say hockey IQ.
Good job.
Okay, in 1914, he won the cup again with the Blue Shirts. That season, he had 16 goals in 19 games. That's pretty good, I would say. In 1917, with the Seattle Metropolitans, he scored 7 goals, added 3 assists in 4 games to help his team become the first American team to win the Stanley Cup. So in the Cup Finals, he had 7 goals in 4 games.
Not bad.
Very, very impressive there. His 1925 Victoria Cougars, a team that won the Stanley Cup, is the last non-NHL team to ever win the Cup. But maybe Flash Foyston's greatest performance in a Cup Finals was in a series he didn't win in 1919. Well, nobody won it. In the 1919 Cup Finals, his Metropolitans faced off against the Montreal Canadiens. And after 4 games, with the series tied 2-2, the finals was called off due to the Spanish flu outbreak.
Oh, no.
Many players like Newsy Lalonde contracted the illness during the finals, but would later recover. The outbreak, though, would take the life of Hockey Hall of Famer Joe Hall, who we'll learn about in the series a little bit later, who got sick during the finals, which is really sad to think about. During that series, though, Flash Foyston set 7 NHL records, in which a number still stand today. The most goals in a Stanley Cup final single series with 9. So he had 9 goals in 4 games. Most multi-goal games in the Stanley Cup Final 4. He had multiple goals in every game. Most goals in a single Stanley Cup Final game, 3. Most points in a Stanley Cup Final single series, 11. And remember, this is a time when assists were like barely even tracked.
Mm-hmm.
Most game-winning goals in the Stanley Cup Final, 3. So he had the game-winning goal in 3 out of the 4. Most goals by a player in a losing effort in the Stanley Cup Final, 9. And first player to lead 2 different Stanley Cup winning teams in goals. Just crazy. And to think like that they just had to abandon the series and no cup was awarded that year because of the severity of the outbreak.
Did it say how many people got it, or it was just kind of one of those like COVID things, like everybody stay home,
No, you can find a lot of information about the players, and it hit the players, especially the Canadiens, really hard. And then obviously Joe Hall died.
Well, yeah, I mean it's influenza, right? Spanish flu is influenza.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know why they called it Spanish flu? I think I said it on the previous episode. Well, because Spain wasn't involved in the war; they were neutral. And they were the first ones to announce about the flu. And I think people got upset. They're like, "Well, we're going to call it Spanish flu now." I'm getting that. That's 50% right, 50% wrong. But I know it didn't originate from Spain. I'm pretty sure it originated in Kansas.
Long story short, it had nothing to do with Spain.
Yeah. Thank you, Louis.
All right, looking at the Frank Foyston hobby market, I was able to find only one Playing Days card for Frank Foyston. It was in TCDB. It's from the anonymous 1926-27 issued set, card number 125. It has to be like super, super rare, though. there's no sales in card ladder sales history of this card,
Wow.
which goes back 20 years or something like that now. And only one of these cards has ever been slabbed by PSA. And it was just authenticated, so it didn't receive the numerical grade. But fear not, my good listener and good Phil. There is the trusty 1985 Cardophilium set.
Yes.
Check it out.
That picture scares me as well.
Yeah, this picture. Yeah, well, it's a now. But here's something even a little more wild. So this PSA 10 of Frank Foyston from 1985 Cardophilium sold for $203 this
They're
past October.
Josh, they're pricey. I'm telling you, go on ComC and look up Cardophilium. There's not one card under $100.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shame given how talented this guy was that there's not more cards, right? I mean, there's
Mhm.
these guys that, depending on when they hit and who they were playing for, and I wonder if that impacts to some degree, like, wouldn't you think we should know about this guy or have ever heard his name before?
Every guy you've talked about, I feel embarrassed to be a hockey fan and a Canadian. Listen, obviously these teams must have had some plugs. I want to hear the stories of the third and fourth liner guys that are at the bar and the captain has to like drag them out and drag them to. I want to hear some stories of the guys that weren't very good back then.
Should we do a special like 1910 the struggle bus at some point or something?
That's would we even be able to find information? I mean, do people record degeneracy? I mean, now they do, but I don't know.
Oh, you could do probably find a lot of fun stories about the thuggery that happened
Yeah.
on the ice. And yeah, because from what I understand, it was a lot more of a gladiator sport back then.
Yeah, well, I mean, even Maurice Richard broke his stick over somebody's head, and they're like, oh, that Maurice, but if someone that wasn't popular did that get him out of the league.
Mhm. All right, well, that is your Hockey Hall of Famer, Frank Foyston.
Good job, Josh. Well
The
done.
more you know.
We're going to move on to Who's Hot in the Struggle Bus. After our Four Nations 1 week hiatus, we're back, where we take a look at players who are currently dominating the NHL and then 3 players who have taken their lonely seat on the struggle bus. Each of us gets to select a player, and we'll start this week as we always do with Who's Hot. So I went with David Pastrnak for Who's Hot. In his last 4 games, Pasta, who Phil hates, has 4 goals and 3 assists for 7 points. Look at that photo, right? What determination. He looks.
It's hard to argue. Oh my God.
Pasta's also in the midst of a 17-game point streak. The Bruins' record for consecutive point streaks is 21 games, held by Adam Oates. So 4 games away from tying that. Right now, the Bruins are 1 spot out of the second wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference, so they'll need all the help Pasta can give them. And he's in the midst of another pretty good season as well. So far in 2024-25, he's played 61 games, has 32 goals, 43 assists, and 75 points. If you look at player stats over the last 5 seasons, Pastrnak has the 3rd most goals, Phil. Did you know that?
I did not know that,
Yeah.
actually. That's a big stat.
200 in the last 5 years. Now, this isn't a math show, of course. But that averages out to 40 goals a season, which I think is pretty good. Only Leon Draisaitl, who again is only good because Connor McDavid, and Austin Matthews have more goals than Pastrnak. Now, David Pastrnak is a 2014-15 Young Guns, PSA 10 pop 238, 36% gem rate, last sold for $711 on February 26th, down 10% in the past 3 months, but up 2% in the past 6 months.
I guess I didn't want to put any stats in there for you today.
No.
Yeah,
the next one.
I do. Went with Mr. Columbus Blue Jacket, Kent Johnson. Been on fire lately. He's delivered 4 points in 4 consecutive games now. And as for any big news with this guy, he seems to be doing all this kind of just flying under the radar, unless you're probably in Columbus and get more info. But he's silently, as I put it, since the Four Nations, in 4 games has 3 goals, 3 assists, and for 6 points. He's a +5 if you're into that, and 2 of his goals were game winners, which is pretty sweet. Since he's been on this tear, he's almost got himself up to a near 1 point per game average now, which is, there's only a handful that you put in that category.
He's so good, dude. Have you guys seen him play? He's so good.
Yeah. So I don't know if anybody watched this a couple nights ago, Stadium Series. Thought it was pretty sweet. It's a good game, entertaining to say the least.
Isn't the thing with Johnson that he was kind of in the coach's doghouse the first couple years for both, and then maybe the secret this year is, well, I don't know, maybe just matured enough or his game came around or developed to a point where he's producing, but maybe just needed a coach to believe in him.
Yeah, a little pat on the back goes a long way sometimes.
Needed a little Dean Evison in him.
That sounded bad.
Well, yeah, but
Oh boy, we lost Josh.
Anyways, then we'll move on. We'll let Josh gather himself.
I'll mute myself.
Oh boy. So the guy's got 20 goals, 22 assists over 42 or for 42 points in 46 games. His PSA 10 is a 22-23. His PSA 10. Oh, Jesus. His young gun, 22-23. PSA 10. I've got what I said still in the back of my head, and I can't shake it.
Yeah, neither can Josh if you look up.
The gem rate of 31%. Last sale, February 27th for $60. Card's been pretty even over the past few months. Plus or minus $10 here and there. And then as I was going through here, Phil, I know this is your boy. I thought this was pretty cool. Mr. Werenski.
Yeah.
He's extended his home point streak to 22 games.
Oh my God.
Tying Phil Housley, somebody you are not a fan of,
good
for the third longest streak by a defenseman in NHL history.
Wow.
Oh my God, I love this kid now. And if he's beating Phil Housley, I love this guy. That's it. I'm starting a PC.
Well, he just needs a couple more. Bobby Orr holds the record for 25 games in 74-75.
Of course,
so
Bobby Orr.
Kind of cool. Side note, cool news.
Very
Thought
great.
I'd throw it in.
Thanks, Louie.
Yeah. There you go, Philly.
All right. So my pick this week is on December 4th, 2024. Team USA announced its roster for the Four Nations Cup. And my pick this week was left off of that roster. And that player is Jason Robertson.
It's a great photo.
His omission was a surprise to many, given his big game experience with the Stars in back-to-back Western Conference finals. But post-snub, Robertson's play has surged with posts on Twitter and Reddit and articles being written on NHL.com, noting he's been on a tear since the announcement, adding 6 goals and 21 points in 18 games by mid-January in 2025. Now that the Four Nations Cup has completed, I'm sure it gave ample time for J-Rob to stew and brew and sharpen his sword. So, in his last 3 games, he's had 8 freaking points. Against the Islanders last week, and with Heinz's return from injury, Robertson also netted a hat trick. Heinz really helped out. He's not just a scoring machine, though. He's had 3 helpers in his next 2 games. He's had 25 goals, 34 assists, and 59 points in 59 games this year. He's on pace to complete this season at 36 goals, 46 assists for over 80 points, 82 total. This will keep him below his 109 point, which is crazy, point streak in 2022-23, but definitely better than last year and above the 80 points he didn't even get. And once again, no hobby love. He's a 2021 young gun. So still, I mean, it hasn't even been 5 years. He's a 2021 young gun. PSA Pop 10 count of, holy crap, 1,560 with a gem rate of 37%. Last sold for $80 on February 28th. Yeah. Love this kid.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Phil.
You're welcome.
Well, there she is. Right on time. The struggle bus has rolled in. And I had to do it. I know it's repetitive. This is like a repeat offender category, but it's gotten pretty bad for our boy Steven Stamkos. So over the last month, in 8 games played, he's sitting at a big old goose egg on the scoring sheet.
Ouch.
And it's actually worse than that. He's been held scoreless 12 straight games going back to January 25th. Stamkos had 0 points the entire month of February, but now there was that little Four Nations break, so you got to give him a little. You got to count that, but still. On the season now, the 34-year-old Nashville forward has 17 goals, 16 assists for 33 points in 59 games played. And he's a career worst minus 23. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. He does have a goal, and he scored it on Saturday. The problem was it was on the wrong net. So Nashville's in the offensive zone. Stammer tries to pass the puck back to Brady Shea near the end of the game with the team down. The goalie's pulled, and the puck misses Shea, but he did hit his own net.
He did.
Yeah. This is all like, do you think Brisebois at home being like, wow, I'm the greatest general manager in the whole National Hockey League. I signed Getzel and let Stamkos walk, you know? It's what an accurate decision he made.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap.
Could this have gone any worse? Yeah, no. I feel bad for Nashville. I mean, how excited were they this summer? I mean, like if you got Stamkos if Ottawa had signed Stamkos or the Wild, I would be
I still love
jumping up and down.
Just because he's struggling this year, Steven Stamkos is amazing, phenomenal. Not to take anything away from what he's done for the game, but holy crap, what has happened? Like, it's almost don't you start guessing about other things? Like, I'm not trying to pry, but maybe home life isn't good. Like maybe there's a family issue. I don't know. Maybe he's got a canker sore that won't go away. Like
maybe he's really he could have been just really heartbroken by
I feel
Tampa
that would
Bay
be
not wanting to re-sign him. Now the goal isn't technically a goal because you can't be credited with scoring your own goal. And Ilya Sorokin got the goalie goal since he was the last Islander to touch the puck in that instance. But it's that bad. So Stamkos is a 2008-9 Young Guns, PSA 10 pop 463, 35% gem rate, lasts over 250 US on February 23rd. It's down 18% in the past month, 36% in the past 3 months. And this sale that we're referencing at 250 is the 1-year low price. I mean, 3 months ago, this was a $400 or $500 card.
Mm-hmm.
Good time to buy a raw somewhere.
Yeah, or buy even PSA 10 if you want that. That's
anyone have a PSA 8 for $50 they want to sell me? I'll take it.
This is almost another one of those situations where if you didn't want to pick on Stammer, man, you could just throw the whole team on the bus.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe they're having too much fun in the nightlife. Nashville want to visit.
I agree with Phil, though. I think that there will be, or I'm going to maintain hope that there will be a
resurgence.
Thank you for that. All right, Baba Louie, who do you put on the struggle bus?
Well, unfortunately, I had to put our little buddy, Connor Bedard.
Why'd you
How
do
dare
that?
you?
I know. I'm going to get all sorts of heat for this, but I'm ready to take it.
Picking on a kid, man.
I know.
Shame.
Hey.
Bagels were mad at you.
He like it either.
Shame to you, yeah?
Wow. Well, since the Four Nations that he did not participate in, here's where Bedsy stands. In his last 4 games, 0 goals, 0 assists, for 0 points. He's a -6, and he's constantly on the ice. 22 minutes of ice time.
I'm sorry. Can I say something? Because I don't get to watch a ton of games, but I check the box scores religiously. And what I've noticed in the past week is on the Chicago, it's like 7-5. Oh, I'm like, the Blackhawks have 5 goals. Well, Bedsy must have done something.
Mm-hmm.
Are other teams just shutting him down, maybe?
Maybe.
Like, are they just putting their best shutdown guy on Bedsy no matter what? They're not putting on a Lucas Reichel.
No, but here, check this one out, though. This can't be easy either. Over this season, he's had 36 different line combinations.
Oh, my God. Yeah, you're not going to get better with that. That's crazy.
So, yeah, second year, like you said, he's only 19, is having his share of difficulty on the ice and at least getting his share of criticism for it now. You saw online, it was asked in this week's, they call it the polling place in the Sun-Times Sports polls on Twitter, if Bedard is living up to the massive hype. And this was the poll. If you're watching, you can see it. But
wow,
49, almost 50% of the the people polled, it was 850 some people, don't believe, he's living up to that hype.
He'll be fine. I think so.
If you think the only thing that I've ever worried about, and I'm like the least hockey expert guy there is. I just like the sport and I like to learn about it, right?
His
Mhm.
size.
Is skating. Like if you dig deep into what people will say is that like that's the big fear is that he is not a bad skater, but he's like average-ish.
And he'll get better. So in Crosby's first year, he was one of the worst playoff or face-off guys in the league, and now he's one of the best. So we'll see what Bedard's made of, and everything trending up until this point. That kid's a gamer. Don't bet against Connor Bedard, right? So if this is the first stumble, it's not his first stumble. I'm sure he might just put it in the tank and come back stronger next year, and then the next year, and then the next year, and pull a McKinnon. And then in 5-6 years, lights out, right? I mean, look at, I think Chicago's doing a good thing. They traded Jones. You guys heard about that trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they got a franchise goalie in Spencer Knight now, who I love. I love Spencer Knight for obvious reasons. And I think that was a great move by them. Seth didn't want to be there, and he went to Florida. How scary is Florida now, eh? Woo!
Yeah.
Wild.
So, I'll give him a little bit of an out here. So, like, it's back in January, with all the team struggles, it promoted former NHL head coach and now, I don't know if you know him, Phil Sportsnet panelist Rick Bowness.
Rick Bowness, yes. I played baseball with his son.
Gotcha. So he was suggesting a significant trade scenario for the Blackhawks to consider. Now, the belief is they need to find Bedard, his own Leon Draisaitl. You know? And while Bedard doesn't have another star forward with him to play with, that would be something that could help him out. There is still the idea, and I don't know if it's been shot down yet or not, but going after some free agent wingers in the market, like trying to nab Rantanen now from Carolina or Mitch Marner from the Maple Leafs.
Oh, wow.
But what I take, it's only rumors for now, but you can't argue that the Blackhawks probably need to find some sort of star caliber teammate to allow Connor to show his full potential. You can't. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. You can't do it alone. I mean, even think of the Four Nations. You got all these awesome guys on there, but if as the defensive team you got to cover for all these awesome guys coming into your zone, that's a lot harder than, we just got to worry about where's Bedsy going. We just got to stick on him, shut him down. We shut the team down. We win the game.
Do you guys think if you had to pair him up with, or if you had the opportunity to pair him up, you're the coach of Chicago, with Marner or Rantanen, who are you picking? Would you go with Rantanen because of the size?
Yes.
Strength?
Yes.
Yeah, because Chicago could use. Who's the only other biggest guy on that team right now? Foligno?
You need a big body with Connor. Make some space out there. Marner, listen, Marner's a sexy idea, but I don't think Marner's the. I don't know. I would put Rantanen way over Marner, but I'll take both. I mean,
but they're both not bad options. The other thing I wonder is, are we going to get to the point where we start to question Chicago's development program? Because it's not just Bedard. Look at how the potential Lucas Reichel had a couple years ago. What's happened there? They have Frank Nazar, who's a little too early to tell, but if you don't believe in their development, that could be a problem. You have Kevin Korchinski, who I couldn't going into even the preseason last year. He's huge. He's fast. Is he progressing? I don't know if that's, a potential problem as well.
Good points. I don't know enough about Chicago's back end there to offer a good point.
Well, Josh, while I'm going through this, look on their team and see who their goal leaders are, because the next thing I got here is Bernard. He ranks, believe it or not, I was kind of surprised to see this, third on the Blackhawks with 16 goals, but leads the club with 33 assists and 49 points. And that is through 60 games played. So on to his young guns.
Do you want the goals leaders?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Ryan Donato has 21 goals, Tyler Bertuzzi 17, and then Bedard 16.
Wow.
And next year is year 3, right? Playoffs are coming up, less than 20 games or 20, 21 games left. And then, so next year is going to be Connor Bedard's 3rd year. Like it goes quick.
I hope so. So Bedsy's PSA 10 pop, 6,766. The gem rate of 42%. Last sale was February 27th for, we'll call it $578. The card itself is down just a tad, just over 1% in the past 3 months. Has made a little bit of a comeback, up 13%, about $70 over the past 2 weeks. So he's still holding some value.
Yeah. All right. Good job, Louis. Good report. Phil, who did you put on the struggle bus?
I went homer this week. I do it sometimes, but I picked Claude Giroux. So in his last 4 games, he's had 0 points. He's never not been on line 1 or line 2 all season. He's had ample opportunity to score goals and throw out some helpers. Man, oh man, does Father Time hit you hard and fast? Because the last few games I've been watching, that's not the Claude Giroux I'm used to. It's definitely very difficult to watch. He's about, and I'm being very generous because I really love my hockey team and I really like Claude Giroux, and I'm old too, and I'm not trying to pick on him, but he's about 20% slower, and I'm being very generous. And if you're in the NHL, the best hockey league in the world, that'll kill you. That'll eat you alive, and you will stand out for the wrong reasons. So nobody talks about this as usual, because if you say anything bad or criticism in any way, shape, or form against Claude Giroux in Ottawa, you're not a good person. But it's definitely coming, because all it takes is the right Twitter accounts to say it, and then everyone looks around and says, "Oh, it's okay, we can say it now," and then they'll start saying it. But it's coming, and he'll hopefully be dropped down to the 3rd line. I do have to say, I really thought, I'm not in the locker room, I really thought there'd be more of a vocal leadership from the guy when he came to Ottawa.
You're not in the locker room?
No, they don't let me in. They kicked me out. They let me in once, and then they're like, "Hey, you got to go, dude." So unfortunately, I don't know. I don't get a leadership vibe from him. Alfredson wasn't a leader by definition, but he led by example, and he was a great leader, and we all learned that after. So, maybe that's unfair of me to say on Claude, but I'm going to say it. So I do think it's coming. He's going to get dropped down to the 3rd line. I still think he's got some juice left in the tank. It would be great to see him in the playoffs, because I think that he would, hunker down and adrenaline would kick in, and away you go, right? So on the whole season, he's got 11 goals, 26 assists, 37 points in 59 games. We definitely need better than that. He's got that old man strength, which he can summon, and I think when that time is needed, like I said, would be the playoffs. I'm just not sure what Claude wants to, if Claude really wants to play 2 or 3 more regular seasons. I don't see that happening. I'd love him to retire in Ottawa, but I'd also like reality to hit my community, and you can't keep him on the first 2 lines. You just can't anymore.
You think when you say 2 or 3 more seasons in Ottawa, or altogether in the league?
Altogether. I like Claude Giroux. I liked him in Philly. He's from Ottawa. Well, he was raised in Ottawa and Orleans, and the other side of me. I think the world of the guy. It's one of those, like, you got to have that tough talk with him, and I don't know if anybody's having that tough talk with him. So he's on the Senators. He's on the Sens for points and leadership. I'm just not seeing many points right now, and I've already discussed the leadership thing. So he's a 2008, 2009 Young Guns. His PSA 10 pop count is 117 without a 29% gem rate. And the last sale was February 16th for $141. So yeah, pretty good value there still.
All right, good job, guys. So to quickly recap for this week on Who's Hot, we had David Pasternak, Ken Johnson, and J-Rob, Jason Robertson. And then on the struggle bus, Stammer, Steven Stamkos, Connie Bedsy, to the dismay of the whole hobby. Louis forced him on the struggle bus, and then Claude Giroux. Slab Sharks is a Gongshow partner sponsor. We're very, very thankful for their support of our show. The current Slab Sharks weekly eBay auction is live. Another big auction this week, over 2,200 cards for you to bid on and try to win. I won a card on Thursday's night when we did our totally impromptu live stream to watch Phil's card close on the Slab Sharks auction. That was fun, huh?
That was a great time. I had super fun. Be nice if the guy paid, though.
Still not paid?
Oh, nope. Still not paid. And I checked the other.
So bad for you. I hate that. I'm mad at that guy. I didn't even know he is.
I checked the other Connor Bedard, the 56 out of 98. That's not paid for either. I think collusion. I'm not a conspiracy guy, but what would I do to hurt my enemies? I would be smart and I would up things and not pay for them. Yeah.
I don't think people realize how you're really screwing a person when you do that, right?
Not just me, a company, eBay, Slab Sharks, Phil, everything.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moving parts. It's not just the money. It's you're affecting hard work of other people. You know, like Karn wakes up every day to be the best at Slop Sharks he can. We know that. Yep. I want that money. I bought that box. I want eBay to take their cut because I want to buy more cards from eBay. Yeah, I complain about them, but it's a machine that I want to keep moving forward. You're stopping the machine, sir.
Did Phil tell you, Louis, that the underbidder too? So Phil, the card sold for 4,450 Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
The underbidder was $50 less, 4,400. So if this dink doesn't pay, there was somebody else that bid 4,400 Canadian that would have paid. And,
right.
and, you know, we talk a lot, and rightfully so, about protecting buyers, but this is such a stupid, raw, and I'm just mad for you, Phil, because it's just such a kick in the pants.
Well, any auction, Phil and I have talked about it before. Phil brings it up a lot. If you bid on something and you win it,
pay for it.
If it happens late at night or something, because I had one that somebody accepted an offer overnight. I didn't get it till this morning, but I paid for it right when I saw it. Or if I'm watching it and I win, pay for it right away. What are you waiting for?
Like you're at the store at the cash. That's how I feel. You don't understand something you wouldn't do, right? So that's why I'm not angry. I'm just passionate when I'm talking.
Yeah.
I do not understand. Like Louis and I talk about it, like blows my mind. How are you not paying for the thing you committed to pay for? I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Or just
I understand their circumstances. I understand. Like I'll pay for the card in the morning. Oh crap, my roof is leaking overnight. Sure, whatever. That probably didn't happen though. You know what? 4K? That buddy, it's not an $18 card, man.
Right.
4K, right? Like,
yeah, and there's no guarantee that if this goes back to auction that you would have the same result. And so this could, could cost you potentially a lot of money. And in these situations, I go back to it was more like a business advice thing, but I had a boss tell me once that, negotiate like a pauper, but pay like a prince. Right. So the idea is try to get the best deal possible, negotiate like you have to save every dime. But when it comes time to pay like you have all the money in the world and you can pay, instantly.
Can I tell you something? I don't know if this applies here, but so I have a local business in Ottawa. I do about 10 to 20, some days 30 estimates. We do tree cutting, tree trimming, forest management, hedge trimming. The people that pay the fastest, I'm going to judge a book by its cover, are generally in the poorer areas of Ottawa. And the people that have more money, I have to chase constantly. Buddy, it's not even close. Wow. It's not even close. So I'm the only thing I'm hoping for right now with my little story is someone with kind of deep pockets is going to wake up Monday and be like, oh crap, I forgot to pay for that. Where it's not a big, it's just one of those I forgot thing.
Right, because money's not really that to them. It's the poor, it's the less fortunate one that needs to get this work done that probably budgets it every month and knows that when you do it, you got to pay versus somebody that can just be like, oh crap, I wasn't even thinking about it here.
Yeah, the guy had like 87, 88 previous transactions. I thought I was safe with that. And I thought it was $50 less than the buy it now 4,500. So I was like, okay, this might actually get paid for, right? No.
Well, I'm hoping that this works out for you.
Me too,
and because you deserve it. And
it's not the money. I don't want the card anymore. I want to trade it. I want something I want.
Yeah. I understand that. Well, if you guys want to see us do more live shows like that, like impromptu following different auctions, let us know in the comments and maybe we'll think about doing that. But that's in the past. Let's look to the future. Us boys, the three of us, me, Phil, and Poopy Pants here, have each picked out a couple cards in this week's Slab Shark auction that ends this Thursday night.
cute. You're not lying either. I mean,
This next
Okay.
sentence I wrote is probably doesn't fit anymore, but I'll say it anyways. Because I have the kindest eyes and gentlest soul, I should probably go first.
right.
Then
Wah,
Louis, after that. Okay, here's my pick. So my first choice is a 2017 Upper Deck Splendor Patrick Waugh Splendid Swatches Coho relic out of 10. I'll admit, I'm not the biggest Splendor guy. Like, I don't
Spend
love
more.
I love them.
Spend More. That's awesome. You guys have any idea what equipment piece this patch would be from? Like the blocker, you think maybe, or
Don't know.
Oh, I didn't really think of that. Well, Coho would be equipment, so
Yeah.
maybe blocker. Yeah, I think the patch on the wrist of the blocker.
Could be the
I get
patch on the wrist of the blocker, the glove, the
sure,
inside of
Yeah.
the leg pad. Who knows?
whatever it is, it's game used. It's from the Canadiens, and it's just an awesome patch. And I love unique. It just feels unique, right? This is something you don't typically see. And if you're a Patrick Waugh collector, I think maybe not the most valuable piece ever, but this would be a really kind of different piece for your collection. So that's why I picked it. And then I chose a 2024 Upper Deck O-Pee-Chee Matvei Michkov black border rookie out of 100. That's raw. The black border rookies are one of my favorite cards. I'm still a little cheesed that they didn't put rookie on the retros this year. Kind of
Mhm.
bothering me. But again, it's hard to tell exactly. But when you really look at this one, looks like it's in pretty good shape. So that's kind of nice. And he just had 2 goals the other night. So there you go.
I should mention, I got 2 emails this week about guys who got black bordered cards that were not numbered on the back, and I forgot to mention that during our stream. That's pretty normal. You can get black border cards without the serial numbered on the back. Whether it's part of the 100 or not, I don't know. I always assumed it would
Sure.
be, but it's. And I'm sorry, I'm just kind of used to it. It's common, like it's pretty common, guys. Yeah.
Baba Louie, what cards did you pick out in the Slab Sharks auction?
First one I jumped on was a 23-24 Parker's Champions
Ooh.
rookie patch auto out of
Rudy.
35.
Yes, Louis.
Dustin Wolf. Now, this one works. Colors, everything looks awesome. Doesn't necessarily have to be Dustin Wolf. It could be somebody else, but I think these are the best patch auto cards that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Can you make this now, Phil? And you would know this better than me because I like Parker's Champions, but is there any greater value in patch auto or RPA than Parker's Champions? Like for what
No,
you
not
get
even
for the
close.
money?
No, man, you can get these so cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So I still have not gone through my ComC Parker. It's overwhelming. I probably have
Yeah.
over 100 patch autos in my ComC return that Louis gave me.
Wow.
Yeah, and I paid nothing for them. Yeah, but now that I could only imagine how much cheaper they are. Good listener, check out ComC eBay for Parker's Champions patch autos cards. They're all game used. You might not like the card design. I like it. If you're probably 35 plus, you will.
Yeah.
Great card.
Well, the
Great card.
rookies are not game used, but the veterans are.
I apologize. Good call.
Yeah.
Good catch. Thank you, Josh.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you pick any. You could have thrown any card in here, and I'd have been like, yep, that's going to be one I'm picking. I love it, but figure I'd throw this up there, too, because it's kind of Joshy's little guy, his new guy now.
Do you think they howl when he comes out on the ice? Oh,
They should.
Yeah, it'd be cool. A lot you could do with that last name.
I wanna go all in, but I'm too. I've learned too much.
Yeah, but it's a goalie. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
You know how bad I want to buy Spencer Knight cards, man? I can't. I don't know one, and I like because he has OCD, and that's what I do. Like, we have the same
I was
thing.
gonna mention that, but I was afraid to.
No, it's
but-
okay. Yeah. He's got OCD struggles, and he's very open about it. And he wants to help other people. I love that guy, man. I don't want to buy his card and keep reminding myself. You know?
Well, he's also a really good goalie too.
Yes.
I know.
I'm just glad now he's got a chance to play consistently.
Yeah, franchise goalie now. He's got a team. You know, it's my team.
And then number 2, 2013-14
Wow.
Upper Deck Hockey
Attaboy.
Heroes auto out of 15 Wayne Gretzky. It's in a BGS 9.5 with a 9 auto. Could care less what the auto grade was. Could care less what a card graded. I'd rather it be raw, so I didn't have to pay the
Yeah.
grade. But I don't know. We talk about it a lot. I don't know what it is with Hockey Heroes. I mean, I've even got the regular Hockey Heroes card, and that's cool for some odd reason.
Do
But
you want to hear my theory?
Sure.
So we're dudes, we're men. We like words like hero and things like quest, adventure. Those are words we can resonate with, and we like it. And then the way Heroes is under hockey, it has a very baseball jersey vibe. So there's subliminal messaging going on that I think we're all like something. When I'm holding this card, no one's going to break into my house and kill me. Like it's safe.
Can I say something about this card real quick, Louis?
Yeah.
While all the hobby rage is to bash PSA over centering on PSA 10s.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it's not just PSA. Mm-hmm. Look at the centering. Holy
well, it's got
crap.
a 9. It should be a 6.
but it's still a gem mint. The card.
Yeah, 9.5's gem mint, eh? That's considered gem mint.
Yeah, it's pretty high, I guess. I don't know. Is there a grading guarantee? Send it back and say, hey,
it's really hard to the bottom and to the right, eh?
Yeah, it is. Very low and to the right. Yeah. But how can you not love? Even it looks better in the Edmonton ones, but the blue autos, I love them.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. Great choice, Louis. Great choice.
Good card. Bill?
Yes. My first choice is a 2018 Upper Deck O-Pee-Chee Platinum Connor McDavid Seismic Gold PSA 9. Phil, everybody knows I love PSA 8s and 9s. So there's only 50 of these cards, and I usually preach buy the card, not the grade. Unless there's a fold in the middle of the card, I'd be very okay. Even if there's a little chip off of something, I'd be okay with that. It's Connor McDavid, and to me, it is my second most favorite year of Seismic Gold from O-Pee-Chee Platinum. 15-16 is my favorite year, but this is my second favorite year. I'm building a small but yet mighty real Connor PC. Sorry, baby Connor. That would be Connor Bedard. You got to get more reps in Bedard, and then I might collect you more. Normally I wouldn't be looking at this McDavid card, but at this price, it's only at $200 right now, $202.50, and it's a PSA 9. I assume a lot of people aren't going to be looking at it. I'm probably wrong about that, but we know slabs aren't a big part of what I look for, and this card looks pretty darn decent. So I'll take a stab out of it. Take a stab at it and might crack it out, and I might bid on it on Thursday. I don't know. We'll see.
Cool card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nice.
Dude, if you had that thing, you know how cool that would look next to your glow PG.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cats out.
We both have the Gretzky this year, right? In the All-Star jersey. Do you have this one too, the Seismic Gold?
I have that one, yeah. Great. And a PSA 10. I want to sell it and buy a raw.
I have a PSA 10. No, I have mine raw. And then I have a
trade?
Raw.
Do you want to trade?
Even up? Sure.
No, not straight up. You give some more.
Okay, you give me 100? Sure.
No. We'll talk. I'm happy you have. Yeah. Well, do you want the PSA 10? I'll give you that. We'll trade, and you can buy me dinner or something. Okay. Or I can be Big Spoon. Finally, you'll let me. Okay, here we go. Next card. Okay. So I really, really want this card, and I there's so many buyback cards I keep putting on the show, and I keep picking all these buyback cards, but I have now listen, not one time. I have never found the serial number that is on the back of this card to populate on the Upper Deck website. Every single card I have ever picked off the Slab Sharks or Fanatics has never populated on the Upper Deck hologram site. I know
the answer.
Pardon?
You want the answer? I know 80% the answer. I'm 80% confident in this.
Okay.
I think they lost all of them.
Okay, well okay. Back to my card. So enough is enough. I emailed them on Friday, and so we shall wait for clarification. I'll give them 1 month to get back to me. I will only follow up once a week. I can be incredibly annoying when it comes to that stuff. So,
but because it has that little hologram sticker BAS on the back of it, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm looking forward to you hearing back. Okay. But I think they lost that database.
Well, I hope they say that, and so I understand it's very hard for the current staff at Upper Deck to figure this out. Okay, to figure out how buybacks were done 30 years ago. I get it. I really do. But you are a profitable company and you have resources at your fingertips. And I strongly feel I represent a lot of people that this should at least be addressed. and attempted to be figured out. I know there are so many other issues, but this one to me is kind of easy. Like this to me is fun to figure out. I would love to work at Upper Deck, and my project for 1 year would be to figure out this problem, because I am so confident I am a problem solver. Even if you don't like me and I'm loud, blah, 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 I fix problems. I'm good at it. I peel away the onion and get to the root of the issue. So there's far too many buybacks out there, way too many. And they're beautiful cards. They're part of history. They're part of our community. They're part of why Upper Deck is so awesome, because of cards like what we're looking at here. So their Upper Deck has their name on it. Maybe introduce a new program to recertify all those autos and create an official Upper Deck hologram database, one that works.
That's a great idea, because the other thing that complicates this is there's a bunch of them. Like, what's the one from 1990 that has like the illustrated images of like Gretzky, Brett Hull, and somebody else?
Oh, that's the first year of Upper Deck hockey.
Yeah, you know, because it's not only did Upper Deck do buybacks, but Ken Golden's dad had a bunch of those autographed and numbered.
No kidding.
As part of his original sports card company. So there's just a number of, now I don't, to your point a few seconds ago, I'm pretty sure that this can be sorted out.
Yes.
There's just a number of variables that have to be accounted for.
Time and commitment and money, right? You got to put some money and time and commitment in a group and resources, and it can be done. And I think it would be so exciting. Like this is okay. Yeah. Okay. So we also have different sticker types. You know, it's a rat's nest, but it can be unraveled with it just can be. Anywho, sometimes there's also a second piece of paper, you know, a second card you have to match with the card. And obviously this is Wayne Gretzky's autograph. If it's a fake one, it's the best fake I've ever seen. So, you know, Phil, just buy the card. It's obviously, I want the number on the back of the sticker to match something. I'm not buying this card for $100. Okay, I'd buy it for $100, but I'm not buying it for $500 if the sticker is not matching anything. I could have just made this card myself. Do
you like the black ink on this one?
Love
like
it.
With the little color match?
I think it's great, man. I love it. I love the hand numbering. We even have PSA with our DNA autograph section place thingy. The resources are there. You know, let's tighten up. Let's tighten up this beautiful part of our hobby. Current bid 125.
I don't know if PSA will grade these either, or authenticate the autos. Because that would be a solution, right? Is like, well, maybe if you could get like a 9 with the PSA with the auto authenticated, then you'd have that peace of mind. I guess.
I would wake up every day so excited to fix this problem. So excited. I don't know why there isn't a silo to fix this.
Well, the reason why so many Canadian hockey card collectors are turning to Slap Sharks to help sell their cards on eBay is they make your life super easy. They do all the work, and that's pretty awesome. You just use their simple to use online submission system through the Slap Sharks website or app, and Phil loves the app. We know that because he's been
sure. It's awesome. Addictive. Be careful.
Or drop them off with your local rep, and then they do the rest for you, and then poof, you're done. Oof. Plus, your card's getting poof, get included in one of the biggest and bestest hockey auctions. We all love it. For complete consignment information, including payout rates, and to get the process started today, head to slapsharks.com. Hobby news.
Oh yeah, I'm on a little bit of hobby news.
Love it.
Oh my God, that was
amazing. That I missed it.
That was great.
Oh yeah, I'm on a little bit of hobby news.
That's it. Keep it forever.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to load that one up for me, Louis. Maybe we'll change our bit a little bit. All right, our first story is I love this one. To celebrate Connor McDavid's overtime winner against America in the Four Nations, and Edmonton McDonald's has rebranded to McDavid's. The offer on the rebrand was actually originally made by the fast food chain to Connie McDavid if he were to have brought back the Stanley Cup to Edmonton last summer, and we know that didn't happen. So McDonald's decided to make good on the proposition after the Big Four Nations win. Another McDonald's in McDavid's hometown, Newmarket, got the same McDavid's rebrand treatment. This will last for 1 week. But McDonald's actually, this is very interesting. McDonald's is not the only food chain celebrating hockey in Canada with kind of a cute or cool rebrand. I'm not sure if you've seen this yet, Phil. It's not quite as popular of a chain, but the chain Dumpster Dogs rebranded for the next
Oh, come
6 months.
on. You pick on me the most when he's playing well. He's playing. You're gonna all eat your words. You're gonna all eat your words.
I did this entire story just to do this.
Go ahead, finish it up.
It's exciting. But in all serious though, it's very cool. And actually, I don't know as much as you would, Phil, because I'm not Canadian. But McDonald's has a long history of really partnering with the NHL. And
Oh yeah, very.
before
hockey
Tim
heavy.
Hortons cards, they were McDonald's cards, right?
Yeah, big time. McDonald's is great in Canada. I mean, other than the nutritional aspect back in the day, but fantastic relationship with the NHL, hockey in general, local hockey. Ronald's McDonald's house. They are a very well run company that seems to do it right, and they love their hockey. Yeah, and that's not Photoshop. That's the real deal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, got a couple like hobby market updates for you. The first, and we haven't done this in a while, but I wanted to give an update on the Gongshow 100 index and card ladder. So if you're not familiar with our index, what we did is curated what we thought to be the 100 cards that most represent the health of the hobby, covering every era and genre of hockey. You can access the index if you're a card ladder member and see all 100 cards that we put into the list. I just wanted to take a quick look to see how it's performing. So over the last month, our index is up about 5%, which is good to see, of course. Looking at the past 6 months of performance, the index is up 16%. Obviously great to see as well. So last few months, the hobby's been trending in the right direction. Now, if you look at the past year, though, we're still down about 7% year over year. So we've rebounded, but still some work to do to get values on par with where they were a year ago. In the 100 cards, if you look at the top 5 cards that have increased in value the most over the past 3 months, it's the 1990 score Canadian Martin Brodeur PSA 10 is up 74%. The 1979 O-Pee-Chee Gretzky PSA 9 is up 36%. There's a pretty strong sale of that, I think, of the 130,000 US range lately. 1986 O-Pee-Chee Patrick Waugh PSA 9 up 36%. 88 O-Pee-Chee Brett Hull PSA 9 up 34%.
Nice.
And the 2014 Leon Draisaitl Young Guns PSA 10 is up 29%, of course, thanks to Connor McDavid. He's only good because of Connor McDavid. So PSA 9s, right? Making some traction. That's kind of cool there. And the 5 cards that have lost the most value in the Gongshow 100 index in the past 3 months, 1987 O-Pee-Chee Luke Robitaille PSA 10 down 38%. 91 Upper Deck Timu Solani PSA 10 down 38%. 2015 the Cup McDavid RPA out of 99 BGS 9 down 37%. 2008 Steven Stamkos Young Guns PSA 10s down 36%. Kind of know why there. And I'm sorry, Baba Louie, but the 1990 O-Pee-Chee Premier Mike McDonald PSA 10s down 30%.
Oh
no.
That's good for Louis. Go buy
Good
it.
for Louie.
Yeah.
It's a buyer's market. Okay, that's your Gongshow 100 index update. Now let's look at some grading data. As we roll into March, we have some February 2025 grading info courtesy of gemrate.com with the continued conversation around grading. You know, I don't know. We'll see if we're just like old men yelling at the kids to get off our lawn, because in February, total grading activity rose 20% year over year. So 20% more total cards graded in February. PSA graded 1.44 million cards, up 11% month over month and 17% year over year. CGC was second with 287,000 cards, down 6% month over month, but up 75% year over year. SGC graded 146,000 cards, down 14% from January, flat year over year. And then there's Beckett. Oh boy. 53,000 cards graded, down 17% month over month and 19% year over year. Just sad.
Yeah, listen, it's got to be on purpose. Like they're just kill it, like just kill it. This is where I would be nervous where they're getting graded. I'd want to make sure the processes are still being, you know what this is where I would stop sending my cards to Beckett, because this is where actual collusion happens, right? Where managers
they start cutting staff or
theft and things get weird.
Now, the question in all this, we're just looking at total cards graded, includes sports and TCG. So what's fueling this growth, right? 1.44 million cards by PSA in 1 month, 28-day month. That's crazy. So let's look at next the the sports cards, right? And so for the month of February, PSA graded 678,000 sports cards, which is down 2% month over month and 6% year over year. Followed by SGC, 142,000 sports cards, down 11% from January, but up 10% year over year. CGC, 42,000 cards total, down 3% from January, up 232% year over year. Then there's Beckett. Oh boy. Graded 23,000 sports cards last month, down 22% from January and 32% year over year. Yeah, it's like, I mean, pretty soon there's gonna. I mean, what point is Tag bigger than Beckett now? You might have to
They
wonder.
should be.
Right?
They should be.
Like, yeah.
So how much is it to grade? Like, what's the cheapest rate to grade a card? $22 with PSA?
Something like that.
So, and they did 1.4 million cards?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the crazy thing though is, and I don't know how often this has happened, more TCG was graded last month than sports cards.
Yeah, I know, no doubt there. So like that's what, that's 240 million?
Yeah.
Right? That's 240 million income. What
Yeah.
does it cost? They're making good
Well,
money.
minimum, right? Because a Gretzky costs more.
Well, yeah, of course. But
And if you get an auto graded, that's more, right?
the
So I mean, it's
lowest
all,
of the lowest possibility, 240 million, right?
wow.
Yeah, that 1 month. One month.
Not a bad
Yeah,
business.
Okay, well, I'll stop.
So when we drill into the breakdown for each specific sport, and of course we focus on hockey, PSA graded 26,600 hockey cards last month, which is down 25% from January. SGC graded 2,600 hockey cards, down 28% from last month. Beckett graded 800 cards. Oh boy, down 52% from January. Like the wheels are falling off fast, hey?
Yeah.
And then CGC is almost graded more hockey cards than Beckett. Think about that. 700 are almost tied with them.
Yeah. What point do we just ignore it? Or it's more fascinating, right?
It's like you're kicking a dog at this, you know,
Yeah,
at
like,
this point. It's like,
I don't like kicking dogs.
so overall, hockey was down pretty sharp in grading from January to February. With that being said, though, we have Series 2 dropping in a couple days. And on the strength of course, the expected strength of Michkov and Celebrini, I would assume that it'll be pretty strong through the end of March.
There'll be a tick up, and then it'll
Yeah, it ebbs
level.
and flows, right?
Mm-hmm.
There were no hockey players nor hockey cards in PSA's top 10 players or cards graded last month. So now we've completely seen Bedard fall for the last 8 months, right? He's been on those lists. And we've noticed in our own tracking of the road to infinity that the acceleration of grading has slowed dramatically on the Bedard Young Guns. So, you know, this is another evident point to that. So that's your February 2025 quick grading recap. Any additional thoughts on that?
Well, there hasn't been anything super, super, super hot. I would say.
Still funny to see all people's opinions are so strong. Grading is terrible, but every month it's more and more. It's funny.
Right.
Yeah, well, gosh, 1.44 million. You're getting close to 18 million cards a year on a run rate.
Do some decimal point math on that.
Mm-hmm.
Currency. Should we start a grading company? Gongshow Grading. Everybody gets a 10.
Everybody gets a 10, but it's really a 4.
Yeah. And it's only $2 to grade your card and cook me a home cooked meal, preferably chili.
But it's $25 to crack and reslab it.
Correct.
Phil does it live on the Gongshow YouTube channel.
But you're not allowed to watch.
Yeah, how about a little bit of hobby news?
Yeah, and to throw that back in there, Louis, love it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're down to just 3 current teams left in our Hobby Mount Rushmore series. In the series, we nominate who we feel are the foremost deserving players from each team based on their stats, awards, achievements, and meaning to the franchise for that respective team, plus their hobby market, which is our, I guess, twist for Hobby Mount Rushmore. Sometimes the consensus is we get it right. Other times we go off the rails a little bit. Like when Phil made those horrible choices for the St. Louis Blues Hobby Mount Rushmore. Remember that, Phil, when you chose and everyone was mad at you? Remember that?
That was a tough next day for me. Yeah. I think your Trevor Linden one's worse. That's the one that stays in my mind.
Trevor Linden?
Yeah, from the Canucks.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the one I went easy on you on, but you got the most.
Okay, thank you, because you know I'm very emotional and sensitive. Okay, so today we're going to tackle the Winnipeg Jets, and if you're asking which Winnipeg Jets, well, that's a good question. I always get confused at this. It's the new Jets. The old.
I use that logo just to make it clear.
Yeah, okay, good. So, yeah, new Jets, old Thrashers, however you want to look at it. Okay, we ready to do this?
Are you?
You're including the Thrashers?
Yeah, it's the same. No, it's just the Jets.
Yeah, I know it's the same, but yeah, for this, it's like Winnipeg Jets. Okay,
it's only Winnipeg Jets.
Winnipeg would appreciate that, I think.
Yes. So the first player selected is Mark Scheifele, who has one of the hardest names ever to remember how to spell. Scheifele. He's also played 857 career games with the Jets, just 17 behind Blake Wheeler for the most in franchise history. Played the entirety of his 12-year and counting NHL career in Winnipeg. His 330 goals is most in new Jets history. He has 783 points, just 12 behind Wheeler again for tops in the record books. Mark was the first ever draft pick for this franchise, 7th overall in 2011, after the team returned to Winnipeg. In the 2018 Stanley Cup playoffs, Scheifele led the Jets to their first ever Western Conference final, scoring 14 goals in 17 games. Wow. Setting an NHL record for most road goals, 11 in a single playoff year. Not many individual awards for Scheifele. Made the All-Star game a couple times, 2019, 19 or 2020.
What year?
Yeah, what's happening?
Okay, he made the All-Star team twice, 2019, 2020.
Oh, now it makes sense.
Thank you. Yeah, well, sorry. In the past 12 months, per card letter sales history, about 2,700 Scheifele cards have sold in the secondary markets. Of those 2,700 sales, 5 were for more than 500 US. Highest selling Mark Scheifele card to date is this 2011-12 Young Guns exclusives out of 10, BGS 9.5. Sold for 1,708. What was the deal back then with the Young Guns? Because you'd think high gloss out of 10, but it clearly says UD exclusives on the Young Guns.
Is that one of the years they made a mistake with the exclusives high gloss?
Maybe.
There's 3 years in history where they made mistakes where it says UD high gloss, or it says high gloss, but it's out of 100 and exclusive out of 10.
Okay, maybe
that might be that year. Yeah.
So let's pick one. Next, we have Connor Hellebuck, another name that's impossible to spell. Be like the Mount Rushmore of hard names to spell. That can't stop him though from being prominently on the Jets Hobby Mount Rushmore, because when it comes to attendees in franchise history, it's clear who the man is, and that's Hellebuck. Connor Hellebuck is not just the greatest goalie in Jets franchise history, but one of the top goalies of his generation. He's the all-time franchise leader in games played, 551, wins 311, goals against 2.57, and save percentage at .918. In addition, he's a 2-time Vezina Trophy winner in 2019-20, 2023-24, and probably the front runner again this year, you might think. That's safe to say?
Yeah, I 100%. I mean, who's going to compete with him? Your boy Dustin Wolf.
Maybe, yeah. He won the William...
Oh, sorry. My bad.
I love it. He won the William M. Jennings Trophy in 23-24 as well. One time, NHL first All-Star team selection. One time, NHL second All-Star team selection. And per card letter sales history, 5,602 Hellebuck cards have sold in the secondary markets in the past year. Of those sales, 17 were for more than 500 US. The highest selling Hellebuck card to date is this 2020-21 The Cup Shield Auto Black Foil 101. Sold for $1,850
Whoa.
US in June 2023.
That is probably the first and only Shield card I have seen that I like.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, you probably could put another player behind there, but
Yeah.
how that one's designed,
You like that?
it looks good. I'm glad he didn't sign on his face.
Face tattoo. Yeah.
Right. Well, it's kind of hard, Didn't leave a lot of room for an auto.
Okay, so we're at Shifley and Hellebuck. How am I doing so far?
Good.
You don't have much of a choice on this one.
Yeah.
I thought this one was going to go pretty easy. Yeah.
Yeah. The last one's tough, but the next one I have is Kyle Connor. He's played 592 career games with the Jets, which is sixth most in franchise history. He has 274 goals, which is second to Shifley. His 559 points with the team ranks third in the record books. For individual awards, he did win the Lady Bing in 2022. Connor also set the franchise's single season points record in 2021-22 when he recorded 93 points. This is where I was a little surprised by how consistently good he's been. So he already has 31 goals this year, giving him 4 straight seasons with 30 plus goals. And if you take out the COVID shortened 2020 season, he'd have 7 straight seasons of 30 plus goals.
It's pretty good, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and during that COVID season, he had 26 goals in 56 games, so it's not like he just didn't play enough games. Yeah, very impressive. Per card letter sales history, about 3,400 Kyle Connor cards have sold on the secondary markets in the past year. 7 of those sales were from more than 500. The all-time highest selling Kyle Connor card is his 2022-23 Ultimate Collection NHL Shield Auto 101, sold for $1,600 US in June 2024.
He's I know he's first round, but he's not top 10 pick, I think. He's a late first round pick, I think.
Okay, I'm not sure. And the last one was tough. I got to admit, I hemmed and hawed quite a bit. And usually it is the toughest on these, but sometimes it's because like there's so many great players, and other times it's like it's kind of hard to find one that stands out enough to claim that spot. But after a lot of deliberation, I decided to go Josh Morrissey. He's the Jets' #1 defenseman, has been for a while. Captains or power play, 642 career games with the team, 5th most in franchise history, first amongst defensemen. Has scored 74 goals in his career, 2nd most in franchise history for a defenseman behind Dustin Byfuglien. And his 363 points is 2nd most in franchise history by a defenseman. He's 6th away from passing Byfuglien in that category. In the past 12 months, per card letter sales history, 1,600 Josh Morrissey cards have sold in the secondary markets. Not fantastic, but for a Jets player, not really that bad either. Of those sales, 0 were for more than 500 US. The highest selling Josh Morrissey card to date is a 2016-17 SP Authentic Future Watch Auto out of $9.99 BGS 9.5 that sold for 553 US in April 2023. There's no picture available for that sale, so we picked an equivalent value card, which is a 2021-22 O-Pee-Chee base card.
Well, it's definitely Josh Morrissey on that card, so that's what really matters. Yeah.
Okay, now we get into snubs and honorable mentions, and this is where, once again, we can point out a huge distinction between a hobby Mount Rushmore and a hockey Mount Rushmore. The all-time franchise leader in almost every category is Blake Wheeler. Now, Shifley is nipping at his toes at a lot of these, or his heels. With, though, just 792 cards sold in the secondary markets last year. Pretty tough, right?
Such a cool name, though.
Yeah. He's a Minnesotan, right, Louis? You're on mute.
Yeah, he is.
And then mentioned already Dustin Byfuglien. Kind of the same story as Wheeler. Byfuglien's the all-time franchise leader in most offensive categories for a defenseman. Morrissey, again, though, is kind of nipping at his heels as well.
Another Minnesotan.
Very poor hobby sales, though, about 800 again in the past year. It's like, how do you put him on Hobby Mount Rushmore? Now, the one guy, the next one that I was kind of went back and forth on
Yeah, I
in the
think I know.
Morrissey spot was, is it
Ehlers?
Nikolai Ehlers?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a hobby market that's similar to Morrissey, but it came down to, and I actually did like way too much research on this, is he has great speed. He's had a lot of flashes, but he hasn't been very consistent. Where that's like the thing with Morrissey is that since Bufflin left the team, he's been a consistently producing number one defenseman player. And I think that, in my mind at least, gave the edge to Morrissey over Ehlers.
And they all play good. They've been playing with each other for a while. They that develops great chemistry, and I think it's showing this year. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to make some heads move in the playoffs. Let's go Winnipeg.
Right.
And I really wanted to put on Cole Perfetti Mom's Spaghetti, but he just didn't deserve it
No.
because it's my favorite name to say.
Not yet. Maybe next year.
Not yet.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, we have 2 teams left: Avalanche and Wild. Which one?
Wild.
Yeah, do Minnesota.
Okay. Well,
Hey, Philly, your Kyle Connor was a 2015 17th overall first round pick.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks, Lee. Yeah.
we're going to move on to a conversation we had earlier in the day with Mark Hill from My Card Post. I don't know if you guys have seen in the listening and the good listener, if you've seen the Instagram reel Mark did a week or so ago that's got a lot of attention. So he opened up a ton of hobby boxes for a My Card Post marketing project they were doing, and had a huge pile of base left over. And it got, I guess, him thinking what to do about the base card dilemma. And his reel got, like I said, a lot of attention. So I thought it would be fun and kind of valuable because we hear about this a lot, like in our mailbag, especially. You chat with Mark and see if he's come up with anything. So yeah, we talked to him earlier in the day, and we hope you enjoy our conversation with Mark Hill. Well, we are pleased to welcome back to the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast, good friend, founder of My Card Post, Mark Hill. Hi, Mark. How are you doing?
Doing great, guys. Thanks for having me back on.
Well, I think it was a week or so ago now, I saw a reel that you had posted to Instagram that went a little, I guess, hobby viral, we'll call it. And it was you sort of like in the picture on the screen for people watching on YouTube, you and a huge stack of base, and you were, I'll let you kind of get into the wheres and whys, but you were addressing a problem that comes up often here in, what do we do with all these base cards that just tend to pile up and seem to have little value? And so I don't know, maybe let's start with kind of how you got the idea to kind of create the reel, or when you started thinking about this whole base problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, first of all, this is obviously a question that comes up everywhere. I mean, a lot of people ask this question, specifically people that are just kind of getting back into the hobby for the first time. They're always asking, like, what does everybody do with all their extra base cards? And it's usually a lot of the same, kind of answers to those questions. And mostly people saying that this question is asked a million times every single day. And for me, it's been something I've been thinking about for quite a while. Specifically, I had done a couple of fun challenges, if you will, that were very much focused around opening 2021 SP Authentic Golf. And I first had done a Bryson DeChambeau rookie auto challenge. And then I progressed because I had so many extras, because I eventually pulled the card, but I had a bunch of inventory that was like making its way to me. I progressed into just ripping the rest of them. I had like over 30 boxes more just to kind of track the ROI. And again, I was just doing this for fun and, just for content purposes. Well, obviously I ended up with piles and piles and piles of the non-hits, if you will. And it just continuously got me thinking about, the question and, what are some of the different ideas we could come up with, or, things that were just kind of going on in my head in particular. So yeah, in the end, I decided to stack them all up on my desk, make a reel, and here we are. It did kind of take off a little bit, which was pretty fun.
Did any of the stacks fall?
Almost when I was putting them away. Yeah, I had a little wobble moment of like, oh, but no, luckily I didn't make a huge mess. Thank God.
How many boxes worth of base was that in your reel?
So I think it was close to 70. I want to say it was like 67 boxes or so that I think I opened. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, it was close to 70 full boxes. And there's 18 packs, roughly about 4 cards per pack, plus, all these little insert things, right? So, I mean, it ended up being a lot of material.
Yeah, you know what that makes me think of is, so in a couple of days, we have 2024 Series 2 releasing, where there'll be 12 packs a box, 9 base cards a pack. and you'll have some of these breakers that will go through, I don't know, 100 or 200 boxes in one day, probably. And
Yeah.
it's like, what do for you who did this sort of one-off experience opening up 70 boxes, you think of this, I don't know if it's a problem or opportunity, however you want to look at it, that man, these breakers must be drowning in base cards.
Yeah, and probably just putting them in the trash, or like they're throwing in the recycling bins, or they're throwing up in the trash and ending up in landfills. And I don't know. I just kind of felt like there's got to be something that we could do. And if we put our brains together, maybe we can figure something out. There's been a ton of great ideas. And yeah, I figured I just, let's create a reel, put it out there, see what happens, and see if we can come up with something.
Yeah, I just want to expand on that a little bit. I don't know, like if any of you other guys have heard this, but I have from a number of breakers where at first they have like really noble intentions with their base. They'll start taking some loads down to the children's hospital or to the local card shops to give away to kids. But then there's literally so much of it that it reaches a point where the hospital's like, stop.
Yeah.
We can't take any more of this. You're just kind of pushing it on us. They can't give it away fast enough, essentially. Right. And so it really is kind of an issue. And I think either in a conversation we had or maybe on one of your social posts, you hit on, it's like, think of like the economic value lost by all this base being discarded or thrown away, however you want to put it.
Yeah, look, it's hard. There's obviously a lot of people that do, want and desire these cards. Maybe they're collecting sets or whatnot. But I think a lot of the messages and responses from people were like, yeah, pack them up, give them out to kids in your neighborhood, give them to charity. There was a couple people that said, their wives or husbands or teachers at school. And there was some creative uses around that. But I just always felt like that's a little bit like of a limited opportunity. Like you can only hand off so much. And, for me, it was like the broader hobby conversation. It wasn't just about like, hey, how do I get rid of my base personally? My intention for the video was about just in general, these boxes are going to be opened by all of us together. And we're going to end up with a hobby community pile of extra cards that have to have some purpose. And I was just thinking kind of about, maybe even having like centralized like collection areas or partnering with like local card shops where we could, centralize the drop off of these base cards, if you will, and then have like a secondary opportunity to turn them into something. But I don't know. It's still an interesting conversation. I don't know if we have all the perfect answers just yet.
You know what? We're always thinking of repurposing base cards for our hobby. What if we go on a more philanthropical mission, and you know how they make in some developing countries, they squish pop cans, put them in concrete instead of rebar. Like, what if we can start building tiny homes out of base cards in some type of formula? It doesn't have to be hockey oriented repurposing, right?
That's true. That's a really good point. The way my brain was thinking was I wanted to repurpose it into something hobby related, so I threw it out there. I created a different video, and my original ideas was around like turning it into where's this thing, like shipping protectors, like these things, right? Like if I could somehow take the material, and I wanted to keep the card images, right? Like I felt like that would have been cool if we repurposed this material into that, or made storage boxes, like cardboard storage boxes that were actually made out of the base cards, right? I thought all this stuff would be cool, but I ran into some challenges around that with the modern cards, right? They're waxy. There's like a plastic thing. They're basically like water resistant for the most part.
Talk about some of the experiments you did.
Yeah. So, I did a lot of research. I went on YouTube and went down a whole rabbit hole of like, well, how is cardboard made? How is cardboard recycled? And
crazy, God, I love it.
And I'm like watching these videos. I'm like, there it is. Like, I can just do this at home. So, a lot of it was like, you need to soak it, for like 24 hours or a couple of days, let it break down. And then it's like paper mache at that point, really. But I felt like some of the imagery would remain. And then, you like flatten it. I was like literally like putting it on cookie sheets and like dumbbells on top of it, letting it sit for a couple of days to dry. And I thought like, oh, I'm going to lift off the weights and it's going to be this brand new piece of perfect cardboard. And no, it was awful. It didn't work at all. It was terrible. So then I was like, well, maybe I need to shred them into smaller pieces. And so I did that, let it soak in water again for like a day or so. Same problem. It's basically, it won't work with modern cards. But to your point, Phil, there were some people that made some interesting comments around it not being hobby related, like literally like tiki torches, like these cards with the like they're flammable, I guess. I mean, maybe we start a whole hobby brand of tiki torches. I don't know. We're burning them. I mean, there's still a lot more ideas to be had out there. But yeah, it's been a little challenging to come up with.
I always thought like, oh, I'll just put all my base cards in my spare bedroom and I'll just cover my whole wall. The walls look like crap. It's like I've been at restaurants where they've dedicated a few cards of things, a big collage. Your eyes don't focus on one. It looks a very not uniform. It makes me itchy and gives me anxiety.
What do you do with your base, Phil?
I would love to give you a very integral answer, but I generally just throw them away.
Yeah, I don't think there's shame in saying that.
I'm a huge set collector. I keep the base I like. I can only collect so many sets of the same set. Right. My biggest problem right now at the Ottawa show is giving kids base. Let's say I get 1 out of 10, it clicks, right? They fall down the rabbit hole. Within 1 week, they don't want base cards. They're like, what, base cards again, dude? I'm like, well, come on, man. I haven't seen you in just 1 week.
Kids
they're savvy.
I don't know. The kids I see at card shows have a Zion case with $30,000 worth of cards in them. Yeah. They don't want your O-Pee-Chee paper base cards.
No, but like the Halloween trick-or-treater, introduce them to the hobby. It's all of our duty to protect the new people in the hobby. It's ridiculous. That category. The kid within 1 week will not want a base card.
Yeah.
Right. So I've been trying to think of another possibility and using these cards for other things. I got a stack here from Josh and I the other day. I'm gonna put O-Pee-Chee together, but once that's done, I'd always make team bags, for kids and hand them out. But after that, I'm really out of ideas on what to do with them. I just sold 30,000 cards to a guy last weekend. I mean, there was a lot of good inserts and stuff in there, but it was all or nothing. So you're taking all of it.
And he didn't buy the base. He's going to probably throw the base away. He bought the lot in order to looking for the diamond in the rough. And let's just be honest, right? I mean, that's what these guys typically, I'm not saying in every case, of course, there's no absolutes, but I've been down that road. That's what you do. And yeah, I'm just lucky. I give my base to Louis and it's his problem.
What if like team oriented? Like I always thought my cousin's a carpenter. I thought like you could take all Minnesota Wild base cards where it has a green vibe to it and you could put it on a coffee table and shellac it. Something like that. That doesn't solve the major problem. It's a cool idea and it would work and it would look pretty cool. A
lot of people came up with a lot of that stuff, like art pieces, create mosaics. Like, I mean, can you imagine? Yeah, like I don't know, some sort of Minnesota Wilds art piece that's made out of Minnesota Wild sports cards. That would be great. And it was part of my idea, even thinking about creating these like storage boxes, right? Like making them out of a particular set of cards or a particular team of cards. But that didn't work.
It doesn't probably work because you're not getting rid of enough. I mean, I've made I've had frames and I've done like Phil said, I've trimmed cards and put them around the frame and then used Mod Podge or whatever it is to put them on there though. But you might get rid of this many cards. Well, I still got to stack 10 times that here plus whatever,
Correct.
It's so much. How do you get rid of it?
A lot of our ideas are good, but they're not solutions, right? All these
are
scalable enough. They're not scalable. Yeah,
they're not scalable enough, and most of them are just for the individual person, right? If you open 5-10 boxes, a lot of people were kind of commenting that, like, oh, who opens 70 boxes of cards? Well, I did it for fun. It was like, it's not my normal hobby experience, right? I don't open that many boxes, but it's more of the the hobby community in general and the volume of these cards that are opened in total, and there has to be kind of a better solution.
Well, think about it this way, right? We just talked about on our last show in our hobby news that Michael Rubin went to Topps Rip Night and said that 40% of Topps product goes to breakers.
Wow.
So that's 40% of all base cards that are probably thrown away.
Most of it. I mean, it's massive a volume.
When I lived in the country, I couldn't even burn them. Like Flagship, like I dump all the base cards, all black smoke. It's carcinogens, right? Unless it's MVP or O-Pee-Chee cardboard, don't burn them.
Oh, see, that's a good point. This stuff might be flammable, but you're right. It's like toxic.
It's very toxic. Yeah.
That's a problem. I think the big one, right? So I created a second reel, which was, and it was the other idea I had. I mean, I want to take the material and repurpose the material into new fun products. That's still a work in progress. I don't know how far I'll be able to take that. But the other idea that came of this was making set building fun again. And I think that was what probably the majority of the people commented. They kind of hit that one on the head, is that there's really not a place online where set building can be fun, can be tracked, you know, how many cards you have, how many cards you're missing, what's your progress for different sets. Like ultimately really being able to like check into a particular set. Like for me, I could probably make the 2021 SP Authentic base set like 5 times over at this point, right?
Sure.
So that was the idea. And you know, really just doing this on my card post, I think, and I think we are going to pursue this, is to make a set building section of the platform that allows people to track and build sets. That could make it fun and exciting again. You could sell the sets. Like if you can do it 5 times over, great. Put the sets together 5 times. And, you know, maybe you just list them for sale on my card post. So I think that could be one probably good solution as a first step. I think the second phase of this would be, you know, I'd have to work with Michael Rubin or somebody to try to make completing the sets worth something more than just the value of putting them together. Which
Yeah, so that's exactly where I was going to go, like an MVP buyback program where you bring a completed set in and you get a hobby box of that product or something, or whatever, where the manufacturer supports that and they could use it as a way, as a rebate to drive people into card shops. And
yeah,
I think,
you know, I think that would make a lot of sense, because where I was going to go with is having a tool that makes it easier for you to track your progress is fine, but that doesn't provide the incentive to actually do it.
Yeah, other than it being your personal motivation to get all of the cards, and then, you know, maybe you're using them to make deals, right? You know, and you're buying and selling and trading with other people who are trying to complete their own sets. Like, you know, maybe I have a couple cards you're missing, Josh. You know, it's ultimately brings the community aspect back together, where we're helping each other. Like, hey, I'm missing those 3 cards that you have, and you're missing these 3 cards that I have. Like, let's swap. You know, that kind of stuff. And
if I was Upper Deck, you know what I would do? I would create my own top loader binder, maybe even specific to every set. That'd be motivating for me. Imagine a Parker's Champions oriented binder with exactly 500 top loader cards in it for that set, and on a spine, all on a bookshelf. Your buddies come over. Hey, what's this 2012? You know, you pull out the binder, top loader, full set.
Yeah.
I love, man, that's another thing. I think the base sets should be a little smaller, right? What do you got? Eight base cards in flagship? 8, 9?
I think 9. It's 9 base and 3 chase.
So I would say 5 base is more than enough. More than enough to sprinkle it in flagship. That's my opinion. You save more, you'll save there. There you go, Upper Deck. You just saved you half your print money. You know?
I can speak to hockey way better, of course, than baseball or basketball or football. But like as I've talked to the folks at Upper Deck, what they'll say is, of course, there are set builders. I have no idea what the percentage of collectors that are that, you know, the whole idea of like buying a case of like flagship is that you should be able to complete the set within that case, right? I think that's how Upper Deck kind of constructs doing that. And what they'll tell you is that, you know, they put just as much of work into the Mark Scheifele base card as they do a Connor McDavid Outburst Young Guns, right? Where one has a lot of value and one has almost no secondary market value. And you think of like all the lost productivity and effort and creativity that largely goes into that. And I don't know if, I mean, it's a very anecdotal question, but I mean, do you guys think that there's a lot of that there, like, what percentage would you guess of, like, let's just say the hockey hobby, because that's
10.
where 10% is
less. No, they're less than that.
That want to build sets?
That's
that are set build, that fall into the like set builder category.
See, I don't know if it would be, I mean, for me, like the base card sets might be less exciting for me, but there's parallel type sets, and there's like sets within the sets that I think are more interesting, and rainbows. And, you know, I think EPAC did it really well too, right? Where it's like, if you can collect what, I don't even know what
achievements. Yeah.
Well, you get like, if you can get 20 of the base Young Guns, you get a silver foil. And if you get 10 of the silver foils, you get, you know, the speckled rainbow, you know, and they kind of like level you up the more you kind of put the different sets together. Obviously, I can't solve for that, right? I can build, a cool set building platform and make that fun again. And then, maybe have some kind of conversations with, the powers that be in the card creation world where, maybe there can be another phase to this where people can redeem complete sets for certain things. But I can only take it so far. But ultimately, I really just kind of wanted to bring the question to everybody and see if there would be more creative ideas that came out that I hadn't thought of yet.
Yeah, like groupthink.
You maybe, you could split it up into different stuff too, like you said, the parallels and all that. But I know there's a lot of people that like somehow if we could section it off where, okay, you got your base set, your parallels, this and that. But, I know there's a lot of people interested in team sets. I want the 2020-21 Calgary Flames, or doing it that way too. I wouldn't want to do it all, but
well, and what I like about this whole conversation is that it really sort of encourages collecting versus the mindset of just trying to find the hard young guns and make money, right? Not trying to force collecting on anyone, but I think that's a more enjoyable part of the hobby than taking the mainly L's on the flipping game. But what other ideas did you get from people?
I think the set building one was kind of the most common, like bigger solution. Everybody, there was tons of just donate them to children's hospitals, hand them out for Halloween, but that's like a once in a year thing.
Passing the buck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just give it to somebody else. There was a lot of that. There was like the tiki torch stuff. There was a lot of people that were just like burn them, just burn the cards. But I don't know. There wasn't really anything. There's some people that are like they create bookmarks with them and different things of that. But again, I think it's like limited scale. Like I was trying to think like bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't know. I think I've still run a couple different experiments. I still think there's a play for the material to. But I probably need like a cardboard manufacturer.
I agree. I think that's the way to go, Mark. There, that paper mache mush type of like. I have a wood chipper, man. I could do some things in the summer, see what works. I don't really want to break my wood chipper, but
yeah.
You're jogging my memory, You're just jogging my brain here, thinking we have a really big cardboard manufacturer and printing company in town here. Just run over there one day this week and see what they say about it.
Yeah, like what do they do with their bad print batches, right? Like, oh crap, the first run of that was bad. Recycle it. Like, whoa, what are you doing? Like, what's that part?
To be honest, I researched all that. They literally like these cardboard manufacturers are super efficient. Like nothing goes to waste. Even like that they chop off a little piece. Even the cardboard dust, they put it back into the new batch, and they just
That's where the answer is. That's where the answer is.
Yeah. My thought was along those lines is that in your research, did you? Just intuitively, I would wonder if it's more expensive to produce cardboard out of, like, or could it be more expensive to produce cardboard out of base cards than it would out of normal, like, materials that they make cardboard out of?
Yeah, well, that was my first idea was, would it be economical if I produce the materials? Could I make things cheaper because I'm handing you the raw materials to make them with? And I actually, the whole like soaking it in water and stuff, that was a rabbit hole that I ended up down with, doing a bit of research. At first I thought like, hey, maybe we could just drop all these in some sort of hydraulic press that can just put like thousands of pounds of pressure and squish them. And, maybe you mix in some clear glue-like material, like puzzle glue.
Bricks, start making bricks like that.
Yeah, and you start, and then maybe so that's what I think is probably where it was like, hey, soaking it and trying to remake it into cardboard might not be worthwhile, but maybe we could hydraulic press this stuff and like have some kind of sticky glue material in there where we could make new bricks of cardboard and then kind of slice it and dice it and turn it into things. But
tiny homes. I'm telling you, there's tiny homes. We need houses in Canada. We're running out of houses. So
you want bricks? Just buy a box of 98 O-Pee-Chee Chrome. Right?
Yeah,
it's already ready for you.
Yeah,
I got 3 left. Yeah, first building block of my new home. O-Pee-Chee.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool that you're really trying to, instead of just like, it seems like this problem comes up a lot, and it's just a question that nobody can answer. And I haven't seen anyone really pick up the charge on it and try to actually do something about it. So I thought it was really neat that you're at least trying to creatively think around the product and rally people around potential solutions. So like, what are your next steps in this endeavor?
Yeah, so I think we'll pursue the set builder thing. So I think we'll look to build, like a new section of your My Card shop, if you will, to have a set builder section, and you can choose to build sets or not. And we'll have to kind of figure that out. I mean, we've just kind of had some early stage like mock-ups of like what it might look like, but ultimately be like, hey, for me, I'm going to check into the 2021 SP Authentic Golf set, and then I'm going to kind of choose the different sections that I want to build. It'll track my progress. It'll be publicly visible to others so that they could see, like, they could reach out to me and be like, hey, I noticed you're missing these 10 cards. Like, I have them, kind of thing. So I think I'll start with that first, and we'll see where that goes. I definitely put the question out to the community, and most people were like, yes, I would love this. It doesn't exist. So I think that's cool. I think the next part would be, I mean, I need to talk to somebody, right? I did as much as I could experimenting at home, but I'm no cardboard engineer, right? I went on YouTube for like an hour, right?
Yeah.
What if you contacted directly the company in Italy, like the actual company that prints these cards?
I mean,
I don't know. Be like, hey, paisane, what do I do?
Hey, meet the ball
Yeah.
and base cards.
I would say if anybody has ideas, if anyone watching has ideas or has connections, like I'm happy to, kind of partner with somebody to try to figure something out, because I think it could be really cool. Like, again, just
where's the best place for people to give you those ideas? Like on the My Card Post Instagram, probably.
Yeah, they could hit me up
Message
at
you?
My Card Post on Instagram would probably be the easiest one. Yeah.
Okay.
To send a message.
While we have you here,
Yeah.
give us a scoop. What's going on at My Card Post, and convince Phil to start using it.
I do use it. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. Well, good. I thought you started using it now.
Yeah, he's on there. Yeah, man. Oh, there's so many things happening. I mean, ultimately, I think there's a lot of like cool, features and ideas that are in development. Our brand new mobile app we've been working on for months. So we're gonna have a completely revamped look and feel to the mobile app, introducing some new features in the app. So I think that's going to be really exciting. That's probably just like a week or two away. So that's one big milestone. I think we're just thinking about like the future and like just more innovation and growing, growing the community, the platform, coming up with new and unique things, that are purpose built for the hobby that, again, just haven't been done before. I think we're starting to think about like, what about maybe introducing some auctions, the auction-like capability. We've had tons and tons of people ask about that. And I think we have some pretty cool ideas that might open the door for us to introduce auction style format for listings. And I mean, we have some really cool marketing things coming up. So we'll see some YouTube content coming out here soon that I'm excited. So I've already done some filming for that. So yeah, I mean, ultimately we're really just, we're looking to hit this year and just to kind of pour gasoline on this thing. And that's time to really grow the platform and get it to where it needs to be. The bigger it is, the better it's going to be for everybody. So yeah, I mean, it's just, would love to just see more of your listeners join and get involved.
Well, I was just on the site while you were talking, 94,000 cards.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's getting up there. I mean, we're closing in on like maybe $3 million worth of total transactions being completed. And again, we're just over 2 years since I launched this thing from zero, right? So maybe $175,000, $180,000 in fee savings. We're closing in on 12,000 subscribers or members, I should say. So yeah, I mean, there's tons of deals happening. We've had probably 6,500 transactions. Maybe 25,000 cards have been sold or traded. So, I mean, look, it's really, you can feel that it's starting to definitely pick up. And, it's pretty exciting.
You got to make a commercial where they're like, eBay hates this guy. And you're like walking down the street, he saves customers hundreds of thousands.
I don't think Mark's going to pick a fight with eBay.
No. I'm friends with everybody, right? That's the beauty of My Card Post. I don't have, nobody's a competitor to me. I'm friends with them all. I invite you to share all your profiles on all platforms on My Card Post, right? So it doesn't matter where your cards are listed. I just hope they're listed on My Card Post as well. But I don't.
Oh, that's good. That's a good way to say it.
That's kind of my mantra here. So
awesome. Well, hey, thanks for joining the show. It was, finally we could have a conversation about this with some real ideas being thrown out there. So good job on that. And we'll keep following your your efforts along this and trying to at least make some headway in the mountains and mountains of base cards. So
we'll see.
We'll talk to you soon, Mark.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mark.
See ya.
Well, thanks again to Mark for coming on the show. What do you guys think of that? Do you make any progress in your mind? Any dots connect for you, Phil or Louis?
No, but it was fun to talk about. It still feels like a major problem. I love Mark's enthusiasm. He clearly seems very passionate about this, and I'm definitely going to be following his quest. And I would love to help if I could. You know, maybe we could take a trip to a different country and help to do stuff and get rid of some of our big at the same time. And by me, I mean someone else.
Think we all got that passion of what to do with the bulk and all that stuff. And I'm glad, everybody talks about it. And, it's nice to see somebody grabbing the bull by the horns and trying all these different things to do it. It's just, I think our issue is we got a lot of little things we can take care of. We can get rid of a handful of cards doing something with them, but what do you do with the truckloads?
I can't stress enough that thing I said as well about there's always someone who doesn't collect cards and says, wow, what do you do with all the cards you don't want? And then I say, oh, I don't know, I'll just keep them around. And then they go, you know what you should do? You should give it to kids. And then I go, yes. And then you have to go on to this whole long thing. The same kid's going to come back a week later and want a better card. And I'm going to say, get out of here, you little anchor buyer.
I'm not legally allowed to be near kids.
Yeah.
Right. A great discussion. And again, if you have any specific ideas, go ahead and message Mark or message us in the comments, and happy to funnel those his way. Fanatics Collect is a Gongshow partner sponsor. Grateful for their support of our show. Now, I think Fanatics Collect is mainly known for their weekly and premiere auctions, and I guess rightfully so, because they're bangers. But they have tons of more services you can take advantage of. First, they have deals with all the grading companies. So any cards you want to submit to list in an auction or on the Buy Now Marketplace or store in the Fanatics Collect vault, you can have easily graded through their website as you send the cards into them. And then, of course, speaking of the Buy Now Marketplace, it's a great place to find some really good deals on thousands of hockey cards. So be sure to check that out. And in about a week or so, we'll have the March premiere auction. Last thing, the current weekly auction is live, runs through this upcoming Sunday evening. We'll pick out our favorite vintage and modern hockey cards in the current auction to highlight on Thursday's show. In the meantime, check it all out for yourself at fanaticscollect.com. Okay, new product releases. One more little spot here, which of course is brought to you by your friends and partners at Mint Inc. Mint Inc. is has an amazing event center and shop in Vaughan, which is in the Greater Toronto area, Phil. If you want to see what a hobby shop of the future looks like, you should definitely stop in if you're in the area. Johnny was telling you they had a pretty packed trade night, right? The other night when you were on Friday nights with Phil.
Yeah, he had to supervise it from his office.
Oh, that's awesome. If you're not in the GTA, though, they can ship hobby boxes anywhere to Canada. So, in fact, Phil was just telling me that when we go to Saskatchewan for the expo there in October, there's a town around there called Eyebrow that he really wants to stop in and visit. Eyebrow, Saskatchewan. When I asked him why, Louis, he said, well, he feels a connection to the town since it's the only part of his head where he has hair.
That's not true.
Oh, yeah, your mustache.
I got a hairy butt. Don't worry.
Your head. We're talking about your head.
Yeah, that's fine. I have hair everywhere but right here. This rectangle. Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay. Too bad there's not like a Back Here Canada, huh, Phil? You could go there too.
Yeah, be the mayor of Back Here Canada. Yeah.
Well, let's say we like it when we go to Eyebrow and Phil wants to stay a couple days, maybe 6 weeks. He doesn't have to worry if there's no hobby shop there, as he can just go to mintink.ca and they have all the hobby boxes he desires. It can be shipped right to whatever like yurt or tent that he's renting there.
I'm not a yurt guy. I don't like yurts. No, I'll build my own cabin.
So my wife and I went to a wedding a number of years ago with my high school friend in where it was in California along the PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, El Capitan Canyon. And it's like total glamping. It's like not really camping. Like in Minnesota, like we know what camping is here.
Yeah.
And they had these yurts that were like the Four Seasons.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
They were super nice.
Yeah, I know a lot. I have quite a few customers that have don't say their cottages or their, what do you guys call them, cabins anymore? They go, we're going to our yurt. Like it's the new. Yeah, I'm like, okay, sounds good. Okay. Yurt it up.
Well, we're a few days away from the Series 2 release, and so we're kind of still in a little bit of look back mode. And I started looking this week into PWHL sales, and I have to admit, it's been a pleasant surprise to see how this inaugural hockey set has taken off. Not only have the boxes been pretty tough to get, but we've seen some big sales. And I think that goes a long way to making you confident, maybe that if the league continues to do well and grow, that this could be a sustainable product for Upper Deck and the hobby. And right from the get go, when the set came out on January 22nd, there seemed to be really strong interest from the hobby. So, again, that's good as well. So, maybe as a point of evidence, let's see how much these cards have been selling for and who are the top chases. So, we're going to look at the top 5 highest selling PWHL cards to date, along with each's respective top sale. And remember, any sale made by eBay was verified as paid for in Terapeak. So, I can't say it like Sylvan, but at number 5, Marie-Philippe Poulin.
Marie-Philippe Poulin.
Okay. Young Guns Outburst Red out of 25 raw sold for $1,300 US on February 4th. And this is the number 5 sale.
Yeah, it's awesome, eh? It's crazy.
Then, gosh, you have to help me on this name, Louis. At number 4, we have the Taylor Heisey. Is that how you say it?
Taylor Heisey.
Taylor Heisey Young Guns Outburst Red out of 25 raw sold for $1,391 US on January 22nd by eBay. Number 3 is the Taylor Heisey Young Guns High Gloss out of 10 raw sold for $1,398 US on February 24th via eBay. Number 2, we go back to Marie-Philippe Poulin, as I like, Putin. Probably not that. Young Guns High Gloss out of 10 sold for $1,972 US by eBay on February 27th. That was just a few days ago. And then Marie-Philippe again at number 1 with the Gold Outburst 101. Very poor contrast on the photo there.
Yeah.
Sold for only $14,081 US.
14 large. Wow. That's wild.
On February 24th. Well, here I got a couple more things, and I want to ask you guys a whole bunch of questions. But in addition to this, so first of all 5 sales over 1,000 US. There's been 8 total sales over 1,000 US and 21 total sales in just over a month and a week of 500 US or more. So again, very impressive. Now we do these top 5 early sales a lot, and no product that we've done the last few months has had sales this strong. So this set is really taken off with people, huh?
Yeah, no kidding. Big time. They all the LCS is sold out so fast.
Yeah.
Right.
Good.
Now, I got a silly question. There wasn't a whole, I mean, in overall, yes, there's a boatload of these that are out there, but there wasn't a lot. Everybody was selling out. People still want it, can't get it. Do you think now with that run they made, are they going to put more out?
No.
Okay.
Right.
So then, like the red outbursts out of 25, all 25 of them are out there somewhere already, right?
Probably. Most of them, maybe.
Well, there's an Outburst parallel, not necessarily red, but at least a silver in every box. That's
true.
Here's what I think happened is, so let's say the 3 of us are working in Upper Deck, and that would go well. And we're in charge of introducing PWHL. Now, on the plus side, we know that we're 1 year into the league. We know that the league had a pretty good first year, but there's so many unknowns. And again, this is not like the 10th iteration. This is the very first hockey product for a league that's been in existence for 1 year at this point.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna play it safe and not print a ton of it. Yeah. Right? Because we don't know at that point, are people gonna buy this or not? Will it connect with people?
I think they also did it smart by keeping the same design. They didn't spend a lot of money or resources, just mirrored it right over that, which was awesome, right? Kind of nice too for the hockey boys collecting this set as well, that they can have comparable cards to flagship.
Hey, the one thing cool about this set I heard too is the goal from Upper Deck was for you to be able to complete a base set out of a box.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah.
So, and if that's something where you want to get some money back, but those are going for $50 or something like that right now on eBay.
Well, I hope they print more next year and have a division or some type of group of ladies and men, maybe. I don't know. I would think ladies would be better to approach the women market. Like, I'm at the Ottawa show every month. I have never seen someone ask for PWHL cards. I've only seen grown men ask for boxes. So I want this to succeed, but I want it to succeed for the right and healthy reasons, which would be to get women more involved in this, right? Attendance is up this year in Ottawa. It's up like 20-30% than last year. That's a great sign. Yeah, that's a great sign. I hope it translates to our hobby, which would be cool, Yeah.
Hey, it's on the up and up. We already had a fight.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
You didn't? I mean,
No.
it's nothing to be like, oh my gosh, it's awesome. But yeah, sticks went down, and obviously they wear cages and everything, so you're not going to throw your gloves. But oh yeah, they were throwing a couple haymakers before the lines women came in.
The thing is, here, I'll keep it in general. When I'm watching like a regular NHL game in the middle of February and it's kind of average, I find hockey kind of boring when things aren't clicking or there's not a lot of intensity. I'll watch a crappy NFL game all day long over a mediocre NHL game. It's just, there's no comparison in my mind. So in hockey's fast, the men are fast. And do you think they'll ever change the women's game to make it a little quicker? Maybe perhaps to add a little more, like, would they ever do 4-on-4 only in women's to kind of open it up a bit? Or
no.
Do you guys notice? Do you know what I'm talking about though? It's just, it's not the speed I'm used to. I mean, it's still professional hockey.
Well, without being sexist, I don't know.
No, that's not what I'm.
Yeah, no, me. What I'm gonna say. What I'm gonna say without being like that. It's not gonna be faster.
No, eh?
It's as fast as it. But dude, go watch.
You can still appreciate it,
dude. It's still.
Yeah,
still moving.
Go to a live game. I do. Maybe Hasselhoff and I'll go because I've never. I mean, it's right here in Ottawa. It'd be great to go. I love the area it's in. I should definitely go check it out for sure.
Here's like two misconceptions that I probably had corrected having a daughter play hockey. Number one, watched a lot of high school games, and despite the fact that it's not legal here in Minnesota for girls hockey to check, the game is rough. They're pretty nasty out there. And
so would you say nastier than what you're used to watching men's hockey? Because I feel like when people say that, it's a letdown. So I have a friend who just went to a game recently, and everyone's like, hey, it's pretty rough out there. You'd be impressed. It's pretty rough out there. But then my buddy Mark came back and said it's not even close to as rough as NHL, right? So it's.
Well, I think if you pick and choose your moments as examples, maybe.
Okay.
But I don't understand why women can't check. It makes no sense to me.
They can in the PWHL.
Yeah, but I'm saying like in most forms of hockey.
Okay.
And then I've said this before, but routinely have gone to Gophers women's game. Because like, here in Minnesota, like my daughter's hockey team would have like a team bonding night, right? And it's a very logical thing to do. And I understand that our women's hockey program is one of the top in the nation. So they get the best of the best. Oh yes.
Nice.
The best of the best players. But it's really highly skilled.
Awesome.
Like the games are a lot of fun to go and watch.
Good.
Yeah. And again, it's like you can't, I think that if you constantly compare it to the men's game, but maybe to me, it's more just appreciating it for what it is. It's really good hockey. It's
I just don't I don't watch boring regular season games. I don't. So I don't want to compare it to men's hockey because men's hockey is boring to me more than not. It really is. Like some games are just, man, I check out. Like I'm most people probably would. Like a boring regular season NHL game is definitely boring. You're not
gonna get that. I'm gonna say most 95% of the time you're not gonna get that blast like that McDavid blast up the ice through this. Even though it's a little slower, but it's still quick.
Yeah,
skill. the skill you're gonna see with somebody going through somebody.
Yeah, right
and
on.
It's, dude,
Yeah.
I will buy
Oh man,
your
I played
ticket
on the
if you
pond
don't
out,
like
man.
it.
Ladies have dance circles around me, dude. Like I'm not freshman skill. I'm very aware it's there. I'm just saying at a professional product level, I hope it's sustainable and I want this to work. I think this, especially the
Do they
hockey
have
cards. Like I'd
do they
love
have
that.
junior gold in Canada, Phil? Is that
Pardon
a
me?
thing you can't? Do they have junior gold in Canada? Is that a thing?
Like I don't. Should I know what that means right away?
What's your highest level of hockey if you didn't make like a high school team?
Oh, I wouldn't even know to
Yeah,
say.
because I think AAA is actually hockey is so unique in Minnesota because of our state tournament, which is this week, actually being one of the probably the biggest high school tournament on earth.
No, okay.
Um, there'll be 120, 130,000 attendees
Wow, that's
at the
crazy.
Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament. And so there's lots of kids that play hockey and only 22 spots on a varsity team in high school. And so if you don't make the varsity team, you can play what's called junior gold. And my nephew, who graduates this year, has played for 4 years. And those games kind of are, they have a reputation. Put it this way, and this is the honest God truth. In junior gold, you do the handshake line
Handshake.
before the game because they
Okay,
can't
yeah.
do it after the game.
Yeah, awesome.
Because there'll be, and those
Good.
games get
Good. That's what hockey should be.
those,
I
those
can't
games get
stand
pretty rough.
Yeah, I can't stand shaking hands after the game. I mean, it's
Yeah.
good, it's respectable. Put it, the game's over. You go, or
They
structured.
don't trust the
combat.
kids to shake hands after the game.
Yeah, no, I love that. I like the nasty business, man. That's wicked. Well, there we go. Settled. Hasselhoff and I'll go check out a game. See what all the excitement's about, and let's go, man. Let's go. Ottawa's got a team. There's no excuse for me not to go check it out. Right?
If a date's not an issue for you to go, seriously, I'm not pumping them, but when they play Minnesota,
Well, that'd be fun. Yeah.
no, not even because of Minnesota. There's some awesomeness on that team and fun to watch.
Mhm.
Nice.
We should move into mailbag. We got some really good mailbag questions this week. So thank you to everyone that took the time to submit questions to us. We're going to start out on Instagram with Rookie Auto Collector 17. He says, I love your podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have someone that reached out through Instagram and wants to sell some cards. The deal would be well over $10,000. The issue is I'm like 50-50 on it being a scam, and I would never send money to a random person I met through the internet. Can you recommend someone trusted to broker the deal? I'm happy to pay a little more to make sure both parties are protected. I proposed eBay, but they wouldn't use it. I think this is a great topic to discuss on your show. If you've discussed this and I missed it, send me the link and I'll watch it. A lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
So I want to get more your guys' perspective on this, but I would just throw it there right away. A lot of red flags popped up to me pretty immediately in this. And if it's a 5-figure deal and you're 50-50 on it being a scam, you got to lean on your instincts. And I wouldn't say walk away. I would say run away.
Right.
From, because there's so many just shady people out there. Bill, what do you think?
If I have a 10% feeling something is a scam, I walk away almost all the time. Here's the problem. What's underneath 10%? 9%. 9% looks much more safe to me. So do your as much due diligence as you can as possible, of course. For me personally, the reward must be much greater than the risk. So, but I'm also quite a bit of a cowboy, and I take big risks for big rewards. So maybe you shouldn't listen to me at all and listen to Josh and run away from this deal.
Or if it's 10K, I mean, if it's a 5-figure deal, somebody can pop in the car
That's
or
what I was
hop on
gonna
an
say.
airplane.
Yep.
Right? I mean,
Yeah, I've always driven. For anything over $1,000 within 10 hours, I'll drive. Put on a podcast, man. Put on an audiobook. You're good to go.
Oh, do you know any good podcasts?
What's a good podcast? Hockey Card Gongshow.
Oh, really? I've never heard of it.
Yeah,
I
most
hope
people
they're
haven't.
nice. Louis, anything to add to this?
No, Phil covered it.
Discord David. Planning on going to the Toronto Expo this year for the first time. Is there one that's better than the other? The spring or the fall? Are prices better at one? Louis, what do you think?
I don't know that the prices are better at one versus the other. I say it's a horse apiece, but it was different for me. Now I've only been to 2.
Yeah.
And in the fall, no, in the last spring, it was in different, I mean, it's the same place, but it was in different halls. So I don't know if any of that changes
We had a
the
very
feel, the
atypical experience in fall too.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we were panicking trying to get technology to work and record, and you were behind a computer producing 98% of the time.
We're
So,
panicking trying to get technology to work. I'm helping Grandpa with his VCR.
You know what? But to put it to your answer in a nutshell, there is so much at either one of them. I really don't think you're going to be disappointed either
No,
way.
no.
So,
To me, the biggest differences are just more like the vibe,
The
and they're
hype.
both great, right? So in November, you're getting it's the start of the season, so everyone's excited about hockey. But in April, it's the start of the playoffs,
mhm.
right? And
Playoffs.
if the Leafs are in the playoffs, then that's fun too. I think most people tend to lean towards November, but I really see it as closer to 50-50. You know, maybe I'd do like 55-45 November versus
I
April.
say
What do you think?
I say 60-40 November is
Okay.
10% more powerful. And if you're looking for good prices, go Sunday. If you live in Toronto, don't go any other day. And if you're a
Mhm.
cheapskate, you know, if you don't like spending money, go Sunday. Sunday right at 3 o'clock. You can clean up.
No, why do you lean a little more heavily to November?
Flagship Series 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Everyone's got that hype.
Here's
Yeah,
one
that's a
thing
good
I
point.
did learn between either one of them, though, and I saw it more in the last one we were at in November. If you need boxes, bring your own or buy them right away.
Oh, accessory.
Because every accessory boxes, 3-row, 2-row, 5-row, because Sunday when everybody's packing up and they got all this extra stuff, there's not going to be any to be had.
Great point.
Yeah, you remember you guys sent me on, man, it was gone an hour.
Yeah.
I could only find one shoebox. It was horrible. Shout out to Primetime Sports, Vancouver.
Yeah, they
Thanks,
bailed
Shane.
us out.
Discord, Sprad. I believe you declared a hobby mystery a few months ago. Any update on what happened to the Young Gun acetates for players whose base Young Guns are in 23-24 extended, Cooley, Fantilli, etc.? I think I remember asking Billy about this, and he said they should be in extended. But I understand they haven't surfaced, so I don't have a better answer, but I don't know if I would get a better answer. This might be a hobby mystery.
Might be.
Because I think that there are no instances of these acetates being out there. So maybe they forgot to be put in. Maybe there's so few of them they haven't been opened yet, or I don't know.
Does anybody sell these dang things besides the one I bought and the ones Phil's kind of picking up? I never see them listed.
They're
Acetates?
rare.
Because
Yeah.
they're so rare, dude. Like
Yeah.
I didn't when I saw Ovechkin's Young Gun acetate, I was like, I've never seen that card. Never seen that card. And it's been out for like 9 years. It's crazy.
Well, glad
I
have
love
one.
that. It's awesome. It's like the whole 16 O-Pee-Chee thing, right? It's fun when certain cards are just like unicorns, and you know that
Mhm.
if I ever see a decent Pavel Bure, there's no chance I'm not buying it.
When I saw Brady Tkachuk's, so I picked up all my Brady Tkachuk Young Guns and everything in 2018. I when everyone was getting back in the hobby, I was kind of not paying attention to anything. Like 2021, I guess 2022, because Brady Tkachuk's Young Gun acetate came out the year later in sports in SP Authentic on top of it, or Series 2, I don't know, one of those. I could not close my mouth. And the guy who had it was like, well, it's not a big deal. It's not really his Young Guns. I'm like, dude, I picked it up for like $400. The guy didn't know what he had, nothing, And I've been on the hunt ever since. I'll never forget where I was when I saw the first Young Gun acetate of my player collect. And they are that amazing. They're it's not a clear-cut card. It is.
Yeah, it's
but
no
it's
comparison.
no comparison.
Yeah. Oh, I knew it. I knew it was a big deal when we were at the house that night, and this is when I was going heavy after Heischer stuff, and I was getting his Young Guns and whatever else, and Sylvain all of a sudden says, "Oh, I got an acetate young guns, and I stopped, Bill stopped, Josh stopped, somebody else, everybody kind of just stopped in their tracks. Like, you got a what?
So
We're
come,
such
come again,
nerds.
Junior. Come again.
Okay, well, that's good to know. I guess I didn't think it was that rare, but
It's very rare. It's very rare. Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Where are we?
Andrew
When
asked
Sorry.
you.
Oh yeah, Andrew asked you if a card is graded and slabbed, does it really matter if the patch was swapped? Yeah, to me, it does.
Respectfully, hard yes, Andrew.
Love it.
What?
Next question.
Andrew Shee from Facebook. For future podcasts, would you mind doing segments on sealed hockey products throughout the years? Like doing an analysis of 2015-16 Upper Deck Series 1 hobby from inception until today, prices, of course.
That's a Josh project.
yeah.
That's,
It's all you if you want it.
let me know when you want me in front of the camera, Josh. Have fun
Yeah.
researching.
The only thing I fear about this stuff is that I think sometimes I wonder if the research is more like the person doing the research, in this case probably me, is more interesting than the segment. I starting to get more wary of like having like 15 years of and just running off 15 years of pricing. Does that make sense? Like, is that
Sounds boring, dude.
Yeah.
yeah?
You know,
So
can we
it's a good
upload-
idea, Andrew. I just have to have a way to make it interesting.
Can we upload things to our website because we have one? Can we like upload that data instead of you rifling it off 15 times, and then when you do want to talk about it, you could just talk about the top 3,
Sure.
something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a
could
good
we
idea.
provide tools for the hobby without dictating them?
Yeah, maybe. Okay. YouTube, Dean Portman 21. Y'all have dates for you being at the expo anytime soon. All right, Louis, here's yours.
Oh, yeah, right.
As of this morning, I will now be participating in the Spring Expo in Toronto.
Louis.
Yay.
Man, I'm not giving up my bedroom. Hasselhoff's a night. I'm not changing.
Yeah, we have a house problem now.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can cancel our house, so we might be looking for a new one,
Oh,
or
really?
we might be sleeping on the couch. We'll have to figure that out.
Isn't there like a single guy out there recently divorced that's got a lot of money? Don't you want a big slumber party for the weekend, bro? Come on.
You have an 11-bedroom house with
Yeah,
speedy internet.
Listen. Toronto has these people. Trust
I'm
me.
sure.
I promise you. They buy houses in Ottawa and they don't come to them. They just leave them there.
Mhm.
They got it. Come on, divorce guy.
So
I'll
yeah,
bring,
we'll all
I'll
three
bring an
be
air
at the
mattress
expo.
or something. I don't really care.
You're both talking at the same time. I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead, Josh.
I was to say we're all three going to be there, and we'll be there all 4 days.
Yep.
And
Maybe
a little
5.
bit laying low. I think we can officially say that at this point, unless something dramatic changes. But our plan is to lay low and just chill and hang out and be
Yep.
actually, be hobbyists and look and buy for cards. Obviously, we'll meet and talk to people and look forward to that. We thought about doing an event. We had an idea, but the checklist site, hockeychecklist.com, if you've never heard of it, has been a lot of work, and sometimes you just run out of capacity to do things well. So we
Right.
try to make a responsible decision not to like fry ourselves and do a half-baked event poorly.
Oh,
And then
I'm
yeah.
getting fried and half baked. Don't you worry, buddy.
No.
Toronto, here I come.
Here we go. So Louis, very excited you're coming. It's gonna be fun.
So am I.
Yeah, dude, that's great. Louis, that's fantastic news, man. I'm so happy.
You can thank my wife.
Okay. Thank you, Louis' wife,
Yep.
Thank you, Mrs. Louis.
Mrs. Louis.
I'm not calling her
Discord,
Mrs.
Cigar Scott.
Louis.
What does registration exactly mean when evaluating old cards? So I think the best way to think of this is like, we see printing plates, right? There's cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. When cards are printed, those 4 plates have to be aligned with each other because they each represent a color in the process. And in vintage cards, when the plates were even misaligned to a tiny millimeter or small amount, it would make images blurry or have colors bleed into areas or be off-centered or something like that. And yeah, so that's I don't know if you guys have a better way to explain it, but that's the
Perfect.
best way I could think of.
No, you got it.
Instagram, Marco da Silva. The 101 McDavid Shield auto was recently pulled. What's the ceiling for a card like this 5, 10, 20 years from now? Do you guys know which one he's talking about?
No, I would say the ceiling, even without knowing about that card, would be like 150 grand to the right guy. Yeah. McDavid 101 Shield for sure.
I think it's kind of our blanket answer on this, but it depends how his career progresses, right? Like what
Right.
happens.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. I left it blank because I am in no place.
Yeah.
to
500
say
grand if
where
he
it's
wins a
gonna
cup.
go.
Oh, yeah, that'd be crazy. Instagram, Rob Kenny 96. Over the past 3 cup releases, what's one player from each of them that should have had an out of 99 RPA but didn't, and instead had a out of 249? So you want to go first here, Louis?
I did Caulfield, Ottinger, and Jake Lucchini, just because I wanted to say Jake Lucchini.
Caulfield's a
Pretty sure Caulfield's
249?
a
what?
99.
No
Oh,
way.
dang it.
Yeah, no way. That'd be a big blunder.
My
Yeah,
bad.
he was a 99. That's okay. I did for 2022 Dylan Gunther, for 2021 Seth Jarvis, and for 2020 Jason Robertson, which is surprising he was a 249.
That's crazy. Yeah, J-Rob, no love from the print companies either. That's crazy. I got Cole Perfetti, Mom Spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
And some other ones. Matthew Kachuk was a 249 in the older cards as well.
Well,
I
your
know.
boy Jake Sanderson was a 249.
Yeah, I'm trying not to do 2 homers in one podcast.
Yeah, I did see that. I was going to pick him, but
Yeah, Jake
Mhm.
Sanderson 249. That's crazy. You boys should get up close and personal with Jake Sanderson because Team America for the next 20 years. He's your guy.
Okay.
hey,
Instagram.
hot off the press here.
Yeah.
Caulfield's a 99.
You're allowed one mistake every 6 months, so you better be perfect for this. Nobody ever makes mistakes on this show.
No.
Never. Tight ship.
Yeah. Instagram, Card Fuchsias. If you want to take a shot on a rookie but can only buy 2 cards, one auto and one non-auto, which 2 are you buying and why? Phil.
High gloss and Future Watch Auto.
Copycat. Future Watch Auto and High Gloss.
Yeah, it's the same. It's 98% of the hobby has the same answer.
Same, different.
Sure. Same, different. Instagram, Knucklehead 36. Where do you think Thatcher Demko's hobby market will go with his injury struggles? I see Thatcher as a PC guy. Like I really, in my mind, started to categorize players that have like hobby markets and players that are PC guys. And a lot of great players are just PC guys. They just don't generate a lot of action in the hobby market. And so I just think he'll remain a very fun to collect PC guy.
That's the perfect answer.
Mhm.
Some guys are just hobby PC guys, and other guys get flipped around like crazy, right?
Mm-hmm. Anything else to add, Louis?
Nope. I said nowhere. Nothing changes.
Okay. From Facebook, Michael Golub. Will this be considered a rookie card? So he's showing what looks like a KHL Matvei Michkov card. And I put this in the pre-rookie card category. That's how I've heard these, but it's not a rookie.
No.
Bill, how do you look at these kind of cards?
I look at a rookie. I turn a blind eye to a lot of these big questions. So
Mhm.
I definitely don't think this is a rookie, and I'll tell you what I think a rookie is. Any card, when the boy is in the show, any card that is produced by a licensed card manufacturer in the rookie year of that player, to me, is a rookie card. No matter how crappy or cheap the card is, that's a rookie card to me. And I don't have a better answer. So
does it have to be in the NHL uniform, or do you consider remember when the Bedards were coming out and they had like Team Canada and artifacts and stuff like that? Do you consider those rookie cards still?
I'd have to think about that. No, I off the top of my head, no, I don't want to, but then it contradicts what I just said, right?
Yeah. It's okay. I mean, there's not a lot of straightforward answers to many things in the hobby.
Yeah.
Instagram, Zedded. What are your top 5 current
Hold on.
favorites? Oh, did I miss one? Oh, Ed Lister. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question too. Sorry. No, for the win. Jesus. Facebook for the Win Sports Cards. When will you guys make it to the Edmonton Expo? Would love a Phil vlog from there. Oh, that's exciting.
Thanks, man.
That would be amazing. Maybe the Expo should send us. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we'll get her done for you.
Yeah. So I personally we all personally fund a lot of this, and Phil's life savings is getting a little small. So I really love doing that stuff. But like Quebec City, just to give you an example, so I left early Saturday afternoon because of the snowstorm. My hotel room was like $410 a night. I don't care what you see online. Oh, $200. We all know it adds up. So that just going to Quebec City without buying any card cost me almost $1,000, right? I have a big truck, the gas, and that's not a big show. And I had a great time and I loved it. And I even left early and it was a hit. It's a hit. I'd love to sit at home and buy $1,000 card and not do a video, right? But I wouldn't. I would much rather do a video. But hey, if someone wants to fund me, I'll go anywhere you want.
Thank you for your honesty.
Yeah, maybe too honest, eh?
No, it's good, right? It's the truth. Instagram, EdLister82. I want to move my old collection. I'm starting a new one. What is the best way to sell them all? Who wants to start?
This question stresses me out, so I'm out. I'm going to listen to your answers and write notes.
Well, it all depends on what you have. You know, different stuff is going to kind of go in to a certain place. Some stuff you could put on, you know, an auction site, someplace, you know. Some stuff usually would go like bulk stuff, maybe better in a lot on eBay. You kind of I would separate what I have and decide where I'm going to get the biggest bang for my buck. You know, and then you got to consider too, do I want to auction it, take what I get? Do you want to list it on eBay as a buy it now and get close to what you want? I mean, there's a million different, there's 10 different ways to go about doing this. And I don't know what the best is, you know.
That's a good answer, Louis. Like make piles of the best platforms to sell like higher end cards, maybe house auction, right? Crappy little cards, ComC. I don't know. That's a good answer, man.
Yeah, I think the only thing I'd add to that is sort of the general rule of thumb that I consider or would consider in this is that it depends what your goal is. If you want to make it easy and you just want to get rid of them, then put it up on Marketplace, but understand you're going to get the least amount of money for your collection. The way to maximize value takes the longest and is the most work by piecing everything out and figuring out, okay, these 25 cards are best for Slab Sharks. These 30 cards I think would do well on Fanatics because like their strength in vintage. These cards I'm going to list myself. These cards I'm going to take to a card show or I'm going to do a marketplace. And it's just going to, you know, that it just depends how much time and effort you want to put into it.
And I would put the time and effort into it because when I started going through my stuff before I did move it on Marketplace, there's a couple things in there that I was like, you know what, this might be pretty sweet in 2 months or a year. And, you know, I kept it. So, and, you know, unless you know everything you have.
If you live in Toronto, Ed, go see Grant at GP Sports.
Another great option.
I know he sponsors a bit of our show, but he pays top dollar. And his finger is on the pulse of the hobby. So, but you would get less overall if you didn't separate it yourself. So Josh said it the best. If you separate it yourself, and Louis said it too, that's probably your best bang for your buck if that's your goal, monetary value. But if you're looking to offload in one shot and maybe get the best price you can, I would never not deal with Grant. He would have your best interests at hand, 100%.
Now Instagram Zedded, what are your top 5 current sets? He says my ranking, or she, O-Pee-Chee Platinum, Flagship, Allure, Metal, then Credentials. Phil, you start.
In order: the Cup, O-Pee-Chee Platinum, Parker's Champions, O-Pee-Chee, and Flagship.
Oh, okay, good. Louis.
Did I put mine in order? I really didn't put it in order. Stature, O-Pee-Chee Platinum, Flair Ultra, and Parker's Champions.
My number 1 is O-Pee-Chee Platinum, then Metal, Flair Ultra, Allure, and then Premier.
Not EX? Or you can't give that a good...
It's a one-off product. You know what I mean?
They're not doing it every year?
No.
Oh, I did not know that. So that's it. One and done.
I think so. Oh, it's the 1990s, 97, 98 set or whatever it was.
Should we buy a case and set it away? Well, no, it might go down in value.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
All right.
Instagram NC Hockey Cards
Jesus.
910. He says, so yeah, 22, 23, 23, 24, Parker's champions, freaking love it. It's just fun, guaranteed one auto, inserts like mini retro cards, silvers, rainbows, rare patch cards, and freaking booklets. Holy smokes. It features a lot of legends, which is cool, and brings me back to old school collecting when hits would be really hard and rare, which truly makes it a chase product. With all that being said, my question is for Phil.
Yay.
Are you willing to sell trade your Freddie Anderson patch auto, please?
LOL. Yeah, man, that's fine. I don't know where you saw me have that though. Like, how do you know I have that card? That's not a card I would like post or so.
Have you not heard about the 24/7 live Phil show that Louis and I are doing with hidden cameras placed all over your house?
What? No, but that's dangerous. Thought you wanted to keep this family friendly, man.
Oh, it's on OnlyFans. Don't worry.
Yeah, you can't. NC, North Carolina, maybe is that what the NC stands for?
I'm assuming.
So if you come up to Canada, we can mess Friday Nights with Phil. That's the email you should email me at FridayNightsWithPhil@gmail.com. And let's make a deal, brother. I'm not attached to that card that much. So,
okay,
we'll make a deal.
Instagram SD Hockey Cards. So I wonder if SD now is South Dakota. I understand they're meant to be an entry point into the hobby as they have a high print run and are desirable. But I think a question can be asked are so many Young Guns necessary with base, silver outburst, silver foil, rainbow speckle foil, clear cut, deluxe, exclusive, red outburst, high gloss, gold outburst, acetate, retro, and all the retro numbered parallels, Young Guns tributes, Young Guns renewed, e-pack achievement Young Guns. Are there too many Young Guns out there?
I misunderstood the question. I thought he meant just base Young Guns, and my original answer was no. That gives a chance for everybody to get one. Now I understand the question. Yeah, I really get rid of the speckled. See, this is all personal, right? Like some people might not say. Yeah, some people might love the speckled. I don't. I think it's ridiculous. But other people might like it. So
maybe a way to put that is if there's 12, that maybe there should be like 7, right? And you just have to make hard choices. And
5 would be nice, I wouldn't consider acetate that's its own thing. It's it's not in the same. Would you consider that its own thing, or is that flooding the market?
No, I think it's still one of the things I think about along this question is I've heard this from a few other people, and I don't know if I'm typical or atypical, but part of me wonders if the longer you're in the hobby, the more you the Young Guns really is in a very good way, in an awesome way, is sort of the entry point into the hobby. And you just kind of like I care less and less about Young Guns as time goes on for my collecting sense. There's just so many other cards I'm more interested in. Still like them. Still would consider like a high gloss or exclusives or like bought a Kaprizov acetate, one of my bigger purchases. But I'm just less and less enthralled by them, if that makes sense.
It's a staple. It's more of a staple than an enthralling thing. Yeah.
What do you think about this, Louis?
I guess I'm just trying to decipher why or what got SD to ask the question. Why are there so many necessary? Are we thinking because you want it more valuable?
Maybe he player collects and he's frustrated.
Yeah.
I honestly don't care either way. I think a lot of them are cool. I like it. So, if I can find one, maybe I don't want the base, but the silvers are awesome. Or I like the red outburst.
Yeah, the reds, the exclusives, and the high gloss.
Those are cool, but that's what I would chase now. I found another stack of Young Guns when that kid came to buy those cards from me, and I don't even know what was in there. And I didn't care. Here.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I am with that now. I don't know. It all depends on what your plan is with the cards.
That's a good point, Louis. Like I'm on the lookout for a Sidney Crosby Young Gun. I found a pretty decent one for a decent price. And I was like, yeah, I'm not spending that on a Young Gun. Sorry. Because I I wanted to buy a different card. I didn't buy any card, but I just couldn't hand
Mhm.
that money over for the Crosby. Yeah, it's a tough.
Mhm.
But then if you're picking out players, though, now that's another one that could go into this. It
Like
all
Shane.
depends on who it is, too. I probably would. I don't really care about the young guns, but I wouldn't mind having a McDavid, an Ovi, a Crosby,
Sure.
you know?
No.
But any, like whoever else, no, I don't care.
I actually didn't have a problem paying $1,000 for a McDavid Young Gun. That one was easy.
Yeah.
The Crosby, what was the price? That's a lot more, but
It's a lot more
one,
rare too. I mean, those are 2005. They weren't printing them like today. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I know. Frig, I'll call him back.
The
Oh,
I have a kind of a related question to this, but I haven't thought of this in a year. Anyone miss the Young Guns French?
Nope.
No, Jean Luc? No,
Yeah, I
No.
don't either.
I don't think
It was a good move by Upper Deck to maybe 86.
yeah, I
that one.
don't think French folks cared either. Maybe they
Mhm.
did. I don't know. Chime in, Josh.
Oh,
Reading.
I suppose. Yeah, maybe it was more meaningful to them, but
yeah. No, I was never ripping a box of that going, oh, I hope I get the French
Well,
parallel.
I'm in guys. I'm in Canada. We have 2 languages up here,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, and
why are
especially
you
in
just telling
Ontario.
us this now?
I know it's crazy. So the French might mean a lot to a lot of other
Yeah,
people. I just
fair
don't
point.
think so.
Okay, last one. More a comment, I guess, and question from our frequent contributor and thankful for
Oh, nice.
Armiel Rawson. He says, Stars fan, after listening to the pod, also a Wild and Senators fan. Appreciate all you do.
That's cool.
Thank you. That's very nice. And you and Louis would probably get along great because you both seem to like lots of teams. So
Yeah.
And Louis loves cornmeal.
yeah,
What?
and Rawson, whatever that is.
I like resin.
Resin? Okay.
Yeah.
Stop. Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
Personal pickups. Philip.
Hello, lovely.
Hello, Philip.
Governor.
Hello,
Hello,
governor. All right, I got some bangers.
Top of the day.
So yeah, I showed these. I showed these
Ooh.
on Friday nights with Phil, but I picked up the nothing
Ah.
crazy here, but Ovi Ovechkin, O-Pee-Chee Premier this year. Connor Bedard, O-Pee-Chee Premier this year.
So that's
And,
the diamond. Can you go back to the Bedard real quick? I want to make a comment on that.
they're all the same.
No, but in particular, I love the yellow sort of, what do you call it? Inner
Mhm.
border.
Inner border, yeah.
I just think that's really nice. And these are the diamond rainbow out of 75, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then I got Crosby O-Pee-Chee and Crosby O-Pee-Chee Premier Diamond out of 75 Rainbow.
Beautiful.
Crosby's my favorite. Yeah.
Right.
Well, not enough to buy his Young Guns, but okay. Baba Louie?
I had a weird night going through cards last night. And don't
Things got
ask me
weird?
what. Yeah,
Well,
things got weird. But
You're a little dehydrated from, you know what?
I went.
Louis was
you know,
thirsty.
I took a lefty
Green apple
from.
splatters.
But anyways, don't talk about it. I kind of went to my Minnesota Wild, North Stars, auto patch collecting thing and just started looking around for cards and found this. Oh, what year is this one? 11-12 SP Authentic Josh Harding, sign of the times auto.
He's the goalie that had got MS, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
it. Had to retire because of it.
Right.
Multiple sclerosis?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, that sucks, man.
Super cheap. I ended up getting, I don't remember what year this one was. So
PMB.
Pierre-Marc Bouchard, sign of the times auto. Found a 2001 Gaborik, sign of the
Gobby.
times. And then all of a sudden it dawned on me, hey, maybe there's a Nico Hischier. There was. So that's a 2021 SPA, sign of the times. You guys, these 4 cards, some people don't care about autos, whatever, but for the price, cheap, cool.
Mhm.
I think I'm into these 4 cards for $20.
Yeah, John, that's crazy, Louis. That's how you collect, good listener, right?
So,
Patience, old cards that no one else cares about, but Louis does.
yeah. So I'm excited to see them.
They're nice, man.
Well, Phil goes from complimenting Louis on his collecting to likely taking a giant dookie. Sorry, Louis. My collection.
I'm just waiting for yours. Yeah, there we go.
During Slap Sharks in our live show, I was sweating. Bought this Netrageous Patrick Waugh. I'm going to save my sticker tantrum for another day. because it's still ridiculous.
Yeah, I'd hate
But
to see what it looks like under that.
I'm very confident that in hand, this is going to be.
Do you think the top of the end is going to be a little bunged up there?
If it is, I'll return it.
Are you really? You'd return it? I've never returned a card. I just.
Well, if you're covering the card with,
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna get me going. I'm getting emotional.
No, okay. Did you buy
Core
any of your
temperature
cards?
rising. I might have to do what puts poo in my shoe on a future episode.
No more poo.
Because honestly, not much really gets me all riled up, but this irritates the. You know what I mean?
What about Pelican cases or Zion cases on the people's counter when I'm trying to buy cards? I guess that's my sticker.
Yep.
Yeah, we could do like dueling poos on our shoes.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's not.
Okay.
All
right.
Get dirty.
Good show, boys. I had fun.
Good job.
Another one in the books. 270 of these.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you like the episode, please leave a rating and review on Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast app you listen to us on. If you love the show, if you love Baba Louie, who doesn't?
Who does?
You want to support us, you want to chat with us on the Hockey Cards Gongshow Discord server, please consider a $5 US a month donation. Join our $2.99 support level tier on Patreon. Link is in the show description or Instagram profile. Website, hockeycardsgongshow.com. Just click on the Become a Patron link or go to Patreon directly, patreon.com. Search for Hockey Cards Gongshow. Follow us on social media. We are on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And boys, the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast is a production of Dollar Box Ventures, LLC. Love you, Phil. Love you, Louie. Take us out, bud.
Back at you. Bye.
Yo, it's the Gong Show. We're dropping the facts. Hockey cards on fire. No holding us back. Josh looking sharp, the face of the scene. Feeling pork chop pants, rocking it clean. Baba Louie in the booth, he's the man with the plan. The best producer in all the land. Gong Show Nation, let's hit the flow. It's the Hockey Cards Gong Show. Let's go, let's go. Wanna say the minute show. So good.